How are you feeling? How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you?
That's difficult to answer.
Eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital.
That's difficult to answer.
this the end? There's a noise inside my head of crying people facing death. Is this the end? Is this the end? I'm burning in the stone. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the stone. This is the final time. What have we done to the world? What have we done to the world? I'm burning in the stone. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the stone. This is the final
What's up, guys? What's going on? You guys were expecting more of an introduction, weren't you? Well, you don't always need to have the long introduction, okay? It's just let's get the show on the road. It's gonna be like a lighter show, because it's Thanksgiving, man. It's Thanksgiving. And it's gonna be a lighter show because I still have to go make the brine for my turkey. And because you have to make the brine the night before because you have to soak the turkey in the brine overnight. And I have to also allow the brine time to cool down because it involves boiling water and then putting molasses and soy sauce and honey and a metric ton of salt in the water. And then you have to boil it all until it all dissolves into a nice brine. And then you have to cool it down because you can't just stick a turkey in warm water. You have to put ice in it, put it outside and all that stuff so it gets nice and cool. And then when it gets nice and cool, you submerge the entire turkey in the bucket and then you let it sit in the bucket overnight. And then you take it out in the morning and then you put it in the oven for 3.5 to 4 hours. And then you have the best turkey of your life. Best turkey ever. But I still have to make the brine. So we're going to have a little bit of a lighter show tonight that hopefully will not go all night, but who knows? I kind of feel like talking. I'm in a talkative mood. I'm in a bitchy and complaining and gossipy mood, which I'm sure will bode well for everyone, including me. I want to say before we get started, well, I just want to say this. Listen, I am aware of what happened in Washington, D.C. I am aware that 2 National Guardsmen were shot. I am aware that they have both died, and it's horrible, and it's tragic, and it's just like, it's really, really sad. You know, I'm also, to be honest with you, a little bit disgusted at all of the right-wingers who ran right out and said, this is proof that the Democrats want to kill us when literally we don't even know who shot them yet. And I understand why everyone thinks it's a Democrat and a leftist, and it may very well turn out to be a Democrat or a leftist or Antifa or a psychotic person. My gut instinct is telling me that it's a psychotic person. My gut instinct is telling me that this was not necessarily like Antifa violence, and the reason I say that is that guns are not usually Antifa's first step. It's like, also Antifa doesn't work by themselves. So like very, 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 I mean, well, with rare exception. So, I mean, there could be an exception. Like there was this one guy that shot up the ICE facility in Texas. He was working by himself, but that might have been an exception to the rule. Usually, we don't see direct action with just one person. That's just not how the left thinks. And so, okay, like, are you a fucking retard? Are you a retard? We must blame the Democrats. It must be the Democrats. It always has to be the Democrats. Go fuck yourself. Literally, go fuck yourself. You're getting put in a timeout for being stupid. And you're lucky I didn't ban you for being stupid, honestly. And the only reason I didn't ban you is I do recognize your name. But to be very honest, like, this whole conservative fucking boomer mentality of, like, let's politicize everything to go against the Democrats. It's like, it's why you guys have no fucking idea what's even going on in the world. If I'm being honest, like, it's why you have no fucking idea what's going on in the world, because everything has to be about the Democrats all the time, and fucking George Soros and whatever other talking points your retard conservative influencers are talking about on any given day. It's fucking ridiculous. You have no fucking idea who shot those people. You have no idea. I have no idea. No one has any idea except for the cops and, dear God, hopefully the FBI. And I think it's gross to immediately use a tragedy to run right out to try to demonize your political enemies. I think it's fucking gross when the Democrats do it. And I think it's just as fucking gross when the Republicans do it. It is not just Democrats who are piece of shit human beings. Republicans can also be piece of shit human beings. And when you are using a tragedy right before a major holiday to run right out and attack your political enemy when you don't know shit, you Republicans, you are no less disgusting than the Democrats when you do it. You are both the same. It's fucking gross. Anyway. So this is a tragedy. I don't really want to talk about it because I wanted to have a lighter show today. And that's just it. That's it. And I, can't imagine what their families are going through, and that sucks. And when we know who the person is that did it, when we have more information about the situation, then we'll talk about it. And if it is Antifa, we'll talk about that. And if it was actually a Democrat, we'll talk about that. And if it was a psychotic person, we'll talk about that. And if it maybe wasn't any of those things, maybe it was just a Republican that was really pissed off because we actually don't know, we'll talk about that. But I'm not going to politicize this to attack people when we don't even know what happened. So that's all I really have to say about that. That is all I have to say about that. Where do I want to start today? Where do I want to start? Where do I want to start? I have so many things we can talk about today. I want to talk about H.G. Tudor diagnosing Candace Owens. I don't know if I want to watch this yet, if I'm being honest about it. And I'll tell you why in a second. But I want to talk about it because I have something to say about this. And because a lot of you have asked me about it because we used to actually listen to him on the channel. And back in the day when we used to listen to him on the channel, we actually hoped he would do this to Candace Owens. And now I'm kind of like, man, I kind of wish he hadn't done that because I probably would have just continued to ignore his content had he not done that. So we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about how Trendlin is causing fucking problems. Trendlin is causing problems for me. Woke up this morning, found out that Trendlin is spreading, is running around the internet just trying to start drama between me and other people for no good reason. So we'll talk about that. Then we're going to talk about neo-Nazis. One specific neo-Nazi. And it's funny because, I was scrolling down my YouTube homepage, just doing some research earlier today. Where was it? Did it disappear? Oh, no. Where did it go? Hang on. Not that. Where did it go? Anyway, I'll just put it up here. New discourses. So James James Lindsay over on New Discourses has now made his podcast a Nazi podcast. And I think it's pretty funny. Listen, I think it's pretty great that James has stopped talking about the left entirely because he didn't know what he was talking about. And now James Lindsay has made the New Discourses podcast a Nazi podcast. And so I thought in order to honor James Lindsay and to give him exactly what he wants, we're going to talk about HT here. I don't know how many of you are familiar with HT, but I didn't even know about this. I was doing research earlier for something else, and in the sidebar of my YouTube recommendations, I see HT. And I'm like, "Oh shit, what happened?" And apparently some news channel did a whole profile about HT being a massive racist on the internet. I was like "Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go." Guys, if you don't know HT, I once described HT as the sallow of internet racists because HT, people may become familiar with him when I was like doing the Christian Question Twitter Spaces, which was basically like with Amalek and sometimes Adam Green, and they were actually run by HT, and it was basically like the people who think that Christianity is a Jewish psyop arguing with Christians, and it was super fun. It was super entertaining. And you guys know I love following Amalek around the internet because I will listen to anything that guy says because he's super, super, super smart and just really interesting to listen to. And so I was in there all the time, basically because of Amalek. But HT was also very entertaining, and I have to say, like, he's never been mean to me. He's never been a dick to me, but HT is the sallow of internet racists. And if you don't know what Sallow is a movie. It is an Italian torture porn movie that is one of the craziest, fucking, disgusting, ridiculous movies ever made, to the point where, like, I like horror movies, like, and the bloodier and the gorier, the better. I like torture porn movies. Like, I like you put like you will. I will not be any happier than watching a movie where really disgusting things are happening on the screen. And I almost want to cover my eyes, but I don't want to cover my eyes because it's that good. Like, that's the type of movie that I like. I like macabre things. I don't know if you guys have noticed. The movie Sallow, and I strongly encourage you, if you do not know what I'm talking about, do not Google this movie, do not watch this movie, do not seek this movie out. The movie Sallow is the most. I could not get all the way through that movie. I had to stop watching it. I tried to watch it. I got about halfway through it and I could not finish it because it was that fuck off insane. It's a deeply, deeply, deeply disturbing movie. And you will never be the same if you look at this movie. I promise you. HT is like the Sallow of internet racists. HT is like the person who I've watched some of his content, and I watch his content and I'm like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, and it's like watching torture porn of internet racism. Some of the things that come out of this guy's mouth. But I also have to say, in HT's defense, there are times when HT is genuinely hilarious. Like, he genuinely makes me laugh sometimes, but then I feel bad about laughing because I'm like, bro, you're being a massive fucking, just like, old school racist and Nazi on the internet. It's just like the balls this guy must have. The absolute balls this guy must have. Like, I just don't even know what to say. Anyway, so I was really excited to see that some news station did a profile on HT, and even the better part is that HT responded to it, and then the news station did a follow-up report on HT's response to it. And so we're gonna watch both of those because I think that both of them will be just like unbelievably entertaining, even if you don't like HT. And I understand and recognize why there are reasons that people might not like HT. Okay, I get it, but I just can't help it. Like, there's something deeply charismatic about that guy, and he's hilarious sometimes. And I don't know. I obviously disavow everything he says and everything he believes, and he's obviously a horrible person and all this stuff. But like the balls on that guy must be absolutely massive, is all that I'm saying. And so we're gonna watch that and we're gonna talk about it, and then we're going to watch the Antifa video from GBN News, which a lot of you guys sent me, which Honey Badger Mom, Chelly, my friend out there in Portland, one of the only normal people actually covering the Portland ICE facility. We're going to round it out today by watching the Antifa video, and we're going to talk about it. And also, I don't know if we're going to get to this, but I did find this. There was like another Antifa video that came out a couple weeks ago alleging to be former Antifa. And I'm not sure if I believe that that's the case. I'm not sure if I believe that. Maybe we'll watch that one and then we'll finish out with the Portland one. That might be the best way to go. And so that's what we're going to do. And we're going to chill out, and we're going to go as long as we go. And maybe I have some coffee right now, but maybe we'll even have a beer or two. I don't know. We'll see how long we go. We'll see how long we go, but let's just hang out, guys. It's the day before Thanksgiving. Pete, Karlyn, I drove past the guardsman shooting site on my way home from work shortly after it happened. Total police lockdown. Yeah, I want to know more about that shooter, but I also don't really want to think about that right now. But I appreciate the super chat, Pete. Keep us updated for sure. It's your channel. We're just along for the ride. Well, I appreciate you guys being along for the ride. As a reminder, if you want to support the work I'm doing and keep me in business, because I am 100% funded by you, check out my Substack. That is Karlyn, KARLYN.substack.com. You can sign up as a member for $8 a month, $80 a year. And in the spirit of Thanksgiving, what I will say is, like, I was thinking about this last night. Honestly, I have the best fucking job in the world. I have the greatest job of all time. I genuinely love what I do. I get to get up whenever I want to because I don't work regular hours, which is great for me because I work better at night than I do during the day. So I will stay up till all hours of the night working, and then I get to sleep in, and that is honestly the best. And the reason I get to do that is that I work all hours when I get up, studying the far left, researching the far left, coming up with content, figuring out their strategies, building out different tools to help people understand it, doing these streams with you guys, going undercover at their events, infiltrating their events. Like, I have the best job in the world. There's nothing else I'd prefer to be doing. And listen, I've worked at a couple other like real jobs. I'm not one of these people on the internet that's never had a real job. I had a real job. I've had real careers. I've built real businesses. But like, this is just the coolest thing in the world. And I'm really thankful that you guys allow me to do this for you. I'm thankful that I have so many supporters of my work. Special welcome to all the new people that have signed up in the past couple months. And just really, like, we're doing good work. We're really building something out here. And I really think that, and I don't consider it to be just me because we are a community. Like, I've purposefully set my life up to build this community so that we can all do this together, right? Not in a collectivist way, but in a way where like we're all interested in the same topics. We like researching this stuff. We like doing deep dives into this stuff. Like, we just like, once you get into this type of content, I can't watch other people. Does anyone else have this experience? I cannot watch most content creators. I just can't. Because most content creators, for me, they pale in comparison to how interesting I find the far left. Because the far left is like real life dystopian insanity, whereas most of the content creators on the internet are inauthentic grifter shills who will literally say and do anything to make money. And it's like, once you see it, man, you just can't unsee it. It's just all over. And so it's like, anytime we watch other people's content, we always are like, okay, can we go watch Socialism now? Can we go do that now? Like, this was a fun adventure, but can we go do that now? And it's just like, it's incredible. So you guys have spoiled me rotten with this job, and I hope that I'm doing well by all of you, and I'm really thankful that you allow me to do it. And I see nothing but continuing to move forward and getting even bigger in 2026. I have a lot of plans, and I think it's going to be awesome. So we're really going to take the rest of the year in terms of like Thanksgiving and into December. I kind of find the end of the year is a great time to like just get some stuff done because it gets a lot quieter. People are focused on the holidays, stuff like that. Colleges are going to be winding down. So we're going to get some year-end stuff going on at colleges. So that's going to be great. But but it's a great time to kind of prep for next year. And we got a lot of things we want to do next year. So if you want to hang out with us, always feel free to subscribe to the channel, support my work over on the Substack. You can also pick up some sweet gear in the Red Menace Supply Company. That is redmenacesupply.com. And for the rest of the month of November, all of the McCarthy designs are 25% off. So if you can get t-shirts, hoodies, shot glasses, sticker packs, all that stuff with any of these McCarthy designs, including the one I wore on my most recent appearance on Fox News, which is an awesome t-shirt that I always get compliments on when I wear outside. Thank you, Kristen. I really do appreciate that. So that's what's going on. That's what's going on. Anyway, where should we start? Well, you know what? Okay, let me do the super chat. The only downside is I seem to have developed an actual addiction to this content. Can't think of anything else but communism. Yeah, average person, I completely agree. Listen, again, it's not like we don't take breaks. We're taking kind of a little bit of a break today on the channel, but it's just like we have to take breaks, but it's also just like we know we need to get back into it too. Because it is an addiction. You just never know what you're going to hear. You just keep finding crazy thing after crazy thing after crazy thing. Every rabbit hole leads to another rabbit hole. It's like constantly being on an adventure. It's a little bit of a problem. But we could be addicted to worse things. We could be watching the Whatever podcast. We could be doing that. We could be running around talking about how like complaining about how white people are the poor victims of the world in like a woke way. We could be doing that. There are many other things that we could be doing that are far worse than watching socialism on the internet. So, All right. Well, you know what? Let me just do the HD tutor thing, because I don't even think I want to watch that video. My original plan, hang on, let me actually get the right screen up in front of me here. So one in the chat if you know who HG Tutor is, two in the chat if you have no idea who HG Tutor is. Because I know HG Tutor is something that we used to watch more like in the past on the channel. We haven't really watched him in a while, so if you're new, you might not know. But maybe this is kind of a little wrap-up. You know what? That's what this is. Maybe this is a little bit of a wrap-up with someone who, I used to listen to a lot of his content. I really like his content. I really liked his content back when he was talking about narcissism. So HG Tutor, for people who don't know, is a narcissistic psychopath, like an actual one, and he's self-aware. And he used to create this amazing content around what it's like to be a narcissist from his perspective, like how the narcissist sees the world. And he's talking about it in the first person, like it's his perspective of the world because he's self-aware of what he is. And it's actually really fascinating. If you want to know about the topic of narcissism, go back and listen to his old content, because his old content where he was just digging deep into that topic to create a resource for people to understand the world from his perspective, it's really, 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 really good. And it helped me out a lot. And I studied narcissism for a long time, but just like I studied from it from a detached perspective. Like I didn't but to actually be able to like see inside a narcissist's head, it's so fascinating. He's written a whole ton of books. I've read like 15 of his books. I think his books are great. But he kind of sucks now. And it's really sad. And it's really horrible. And I don't want people to think that he's always sucked. He hasn't always sucked, but he kind of sucks now. I just gave my kid Debunking the Communist Manifesto. He wanted me to tell you it's a great book and he loves it. Awesome, OC. I do appreciate that. Thank you so much for doing that. So the reason I say HG Tutor sucks now is HG Tutor is now the Meghan Markle channel of the internet. Like all he talks about is fucking Meghan Markle. If you look at the videos, these are the most recent videos on his page. Meghan Markle, Meghan Markle, Meghan Markle, Meghan Markle, Meghan Markle, Meghan Markle, Meghan Markle. It is all fucking Meghan Markle. It's all fucking Meghan Markle all the time. And I understand he gets a lot of views from covering Meghan Markle. I get that. I get that there are more people on the internet who want to call Meghan Markle a narcissist for the 112th time in the last fucking month. I get that there are people who find that entertaining. I just don't understand, like, and so I get he gets more views than that, but it's just like, man, I had to stop listening at some point. I had to stop listening because it was just the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. It got really fucking boring. So I was like, okay, bro, like I can't. I can't. So I basically stopped listening and we kind of stopped talking to him because or about him rather, because I just didn't care anymore. And then he decided to evaluate Candace Owens. Now, we had really wanted him to evaluate Candace Owens like a couple years ago because I do think that Candace Owens is a narcissist. So what he does is he does these series on like well-known people where he evaluates them for narcissism and he goes through their past and he talks about them and all this stuff. And some of them have been really interesting. Like he was one of the very early people to call out Meghan Markle publicly, I think. I think that's one of the reasons his channel grew so big or something like that. And so he does these things sometimes. And I had really hoped that he was going to evaluate Jordan Peterson as well. But he never did that because he's a massive pussy, but that's okay. So finally, at long last, years after we wanted him to, HG Tudor decides to evaluate Candace Owens. And I really wish that we hadn't even kind of watched this. Because in the very first episode, I was like, what became very clear to me is, oh shit, HG Tudor doesn't know anything about Israel. Yeah, Reagan, I saw this. I don't even know who the fuck Kim Wexler is. Kim Wexler just accused Reagan of being one of my sock accounts. Who is that? I have no idea who this is. Is this like a celebrity or something? Kim Wexler believes I don't even know who she is, and she thinks that everyone is me. Okay. Like, how does that? Is she some sort of celebrity? You had a back and forth with her on Twitter. You don't even know who she is, but she's on it. Maybe HG Tudor will be able to tell us who she is. Who is Kim Wexler?
Wexler. Hello, I'm HG Tudor. You join me for another analysis of a key character from the Breaking
This is such a sideline, but like Reagan actually got into an argument with this person.
Bad universe. Remember?
She was
Do
on
share
Breaking
this
Bad?
video to others who might be interested in the breakdown and give it a few watches to boost its profile. Kim Wexler.
Reagan, you got into an argument with a famous actress who thought you were me? Oh, it's not a real person. Okay, it's not a real person. Okay, he's evaluating a fictional person. Okay, so someone is pretending to be this person on Twitter. Okay, I understand now. See, I was like, you gotta be shitting me. A factual insurrection over on Rumble with the $10 Rumble rant. I'm addicted to learning from primary source evidence and solid research. I'm addicted to saving our republic. Thank you for sharing your experience and humor, Dr. K. Happy Thanksgiving. Hey, happy Thanksgiving to you. I appreciate that. All right, we've solved the mystery. Kim Wexler is a fictional character. Back to this. Back to the actual thing, now that we've all been distracted. So, when we watched the first episode of HG Tudor's evaluation of Candace Owens, and basically my big takeaway from that is, oh shit, HG Tudor doesn't know anything about Israel. And this was kind of actually really disappointing to me because I was like, HG Tudor claims to be this like this really well-read person who understands how the world works and all this stuff, and he doesn't have a fuck off clue about Israel. And it's kind of like, listen, there was a time when I didn't understand Israel either. There was a time when many of us did not understand the Israel question, as it were, okay? But after October 7th, I kind of feel like, and in the intervening years since then, I kind of feel like if you don't understand the Israel question now, you're really fucking stupid. You're really stupid if you don't understand the situation with that little country in the Middle East. Like it's dumb. And So to listen to H.G. Tudor's first episode, where he was obviously completely obfuscating the Israel issue, I'm like, okay, there's one of two possibilities here. Either he doesn't understand the situation, which is really, really, really disappointing, or he understands the situation, but he doesn't want to call it out, which means he's a massive pussy. And it's like all idols have clay feet, right? It's like, and now I have to go back and reevaluate. Was there things that he said that I believed were true that were not true? Because, like, if he doesn't understand the Israel question, he's either stupid or he's a massive pussy. And this is to be expected with a narcissist, right? Because a narcissist is going to frame whatever situation is going to be the most beneficial to them. I just don't understand what this particular person had to lose with calling out the Israel issue, because the thing of it is like, if I talk too much about Israel, I could, find myself on the receiving end of a hit piece in a major publication, as has happened to me before. That's because I'm doing this under my real name, right? I'm not hiding behind a pseudonym. So, like, there's a reason I don't talk as much about the Israel issue. And it's not because I don't understand it. It's because, well, number one, I'm more focused on the far left. But number two, it's like, do I really want to invite that type of attention? And the answer is no. Like, I really don't. I have to stay focused on what I'm doing. The whole Israel Jewish question stuff, it is really a complete distraction. It's interesting and I enjoy like dabbling in that type of content sometimes, but like, it's a complete distraction, which is why I don't talk about it a lot. H.G. Tudor does not have that problem. H.G. Tudor is using a fictional name and doesn't even put his face on the internet. So why the fuck, like, if he understood the issue, why isn't he incorporating that into his analysis? Because that's a very key part of what happened with Candace Owens. There's no escaping it. Like, the whole thing with the Daily Wire, it centers on the Israel issue. If you don't understand the Israel issue, you cannot adequately evaluate Candace Owens. So I feel like this goes back really to the heart of the matter. So either he doesn't understand it, or he's too much of a pussy to confront it. And either of those things are not good, especially when he's operating behind an anonymous account. But then, and I know I'm being a little long-winded about telling the story, we were originally going to watch his latest video. I don't even think I want to now that I'm actually talking this through, because Naruto last night, I just outed him. Whatever. I had a member of my community took it upon themselves to watch every single episode of the H.G. Tudor Candace Owens series, and that thing is like 10 hours long. Or 10 episodes long, not hours. It's 10 episodes long. Like, you want me to commit to 10 fucking episodes to find out what we already know, which is Candace Owens is absolutely a narcissist with shitty analysis that doesn't even confront the Israel question? That doesn't make any sense. But Naruto watched it, and he delivered me a report. He said, I was hoping that because there were only 6 videos on the playlist, it would be a short diagnosis, but no luck. Part 7 and beyond will probably come out next week. I burst out laughing during one of today's episodes when HG called the Becoming Brigitte series transphobic conspiracy theories. In H.G. Tudor's evaluation of Candace Owens' narcissism, he's talking about transphobic conspiracy theories. Now, listen, I don't know if I fully believe that Becoming Brigitte proved that Brigitte Macron was a man, but I think that anyone who actually bothered to watch the series would know that Candace actually did put in a lot of legwork on that. It wasn't all just pulling like information out of her ass. But beyond, so like, whatever, the conspiracy theory thing, fine. Okay, maybe you can say it's a conspiracy theory. That's not actually what I'm focused on, though. The thing I'm focused on is transphobic. One in the chat if we give a flying fuck about transphobia. 2 in the chat if only woke leftists give a flying fuck about transphobia. You can call Candace Owens crazy. You can call Candace Owens psychotic. You can say that you don't like her tone. You can say that you don't like her evidence. You can say a lot of things. There are many criticisms to be made of Candace Owens that I think are perfectly valid. And again, I actually do think Candace Owens is a narcissist, but not for the same reasons that H.G. Tudor does, apparently, because apparently H.G. Tudor thinks that Candace Owens is a transphobe. And that, to me, I'm like, bro, come on. Come on. It's just annoying. And it's like, you know what? It's like, I've gotten so used to being disappointed by content creators on the internet. I've gotten so used to it because it's like with some content creators specifically, I can see the potential in what they could be doing. Like H.G. Tudor could be doing awesome content around narcissism. He could be doing really impactful content around narcissism. What is he doing? He's dicking around with Meghan Markle and calling Candace Owens a fucking transphobe. And it's like, bro, like, come on. You've been gifted with a talent. You've been gifted with a fucking impeccable voice, and you're dicking around with Meghan Markle all day, every day, and calling fucking Candace Owens a transphobe. Yeah, he's doing it for clicks, but it's like he could be doing things for clicks that are so much better than calling Candace Owens a transphobe and jumping on the Zionist bandwagon over this whole thing. It's just like it's reflective of just he's either not thinking about it or it's like a complete lack of intelligence, or again, maybe he's just a massive pussy. I don't know. And it made me think of like other content creators that like I look at and I'm like, you know what? You could be doing so much better content right now had you just if you just like literally removed your head from your ass. But anyway, so H.G. Tudor apparently is a leftist. I was thinking about watching the Candace Owens thing just to like get some sort of wrap up on it, but now I don't even want to because it's infuriating. It's like, why does everything that is good or has the potential to be good, why does it always have to turn to shit? Why? Every single time. Every single time. Hey, speaking of faggots on the internet. And by the way, I'm allowed to use that word because I have gay men in my audience who have given me the F word pass. So I'm totally allowed to use that word. Does anyone know who this Rob Noor guy is? Does anyone know who Rob is? So I had no idea who this person was. I had never even heard of this person until today. So Trendlin, earlier today, she texts me and she says, Rob Noor just mentioned your beef with Rattlesnake on his live show just now. Now, for those of you who are following along, I got into some sort of fight with a guy named Jake Rattlesnake who does a show with Andrew Wilson. I don't even know who Jake Rattlesnake is. I don't even know why Jake Rattlesnake is important. I have no idea what Jake Rattlesnake does. What I do know is that Jake Rattlesnake stole a piece of content of mine without giving me credit for it. And it was a piece of content that only existed from a leftist trainee because I recorded it essentially. And it really pisses me off when other content creators do this. So apparently I ended up blocking him or something. But honestly, like Jake Rattlesnake is, I don't know who he is. I don't know who any of these people are. I don't watch this type of content. And so, hang on. So I didn't even remember this thing with Jake Rattlesnake when Trendlin mentioned it the other day. So apparently Trendlin was causing problems in this Rob guy's chat. And I said to Trendlin, I don't know who this is, Trendlin. I don't know who Rob is. Trendlin says he's Andrew Wilson's protege. And then I said, okay, what did he say? And then Trendlin sent me a video. And we'll watch the rest of it. But let's watch the video real quick and we can find out what happened originally.
I just want to see like Lucas versus Disney, like the CEO, like which one did it better?
Yeah. Andrew Wilson and Karlyn Borysenko on the far left. Queer Marxism. Andrew will be decimated. There's a lot of Karlyn Borysenko fans in my audience, and she seems like quite the maniac to me. All I know.
There is no O in my name. I don't know why people think there's an O in my name. There's no O in my name. Like, this guy doesn't know how to read, apparently.
Was that Jake Rattlesnake put like literally 10 seconds of one of her videos and she flipped shit on him and he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'll give you credit." And she
No. That's actually, by the way, that's not what happened. It was like a whole back and forth on Twitter. So now we know that this Rob guy who doesn't know how to read is completely intellectually dishonest. So he's totally fine with Jake Rattlesnake stealing my content without credit. Jake Rattlesnake, by the way, never apologized to me. Do you know who did apologize to me when they accidentally stole my content without credit? Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder and his team accidentally stole a piece of my content that only existed because I recorded a training that they had no idea about, and they used it without credit. And then when we called them out on it, they not only gave me credit immediately, they issued an apology. And they said, "We didn't mean to do this. Sorry, you do great work." And all it was like they handled it so well. Jake Rattlesnake steals exactly the same piece of content, exactly the same one, and then he has a giant fuck off meltdown on Twitter when I said, "Bro, you're actually stealing my content. Can you give me credit?" Then like whining like a fucking woman. That you want to know why I blocked Jake Rattlesnake? I had to go back and figure it out. I blocked him because he was whining like a bitch on Twitter, and I didn't want to deal with that. And so now this guy who doesn't know how to read, who is obviously intellectually dishonest because he's saying, "Oh, it was just this. It wasn't that big a deal." And he apologized. No. Not what happened, but let's continue.
He just kept going on and on about it and was like, "I would never do that." And then it took me all of 10 seconds to go to her channel on X and see she was doing exactly that, putting videos up of other people like she had the break.
So now this Rob guy who doesn't know how to read is saying that all I do is steal other people's content because I had a Breitbart video one time for 10 seconds on my channel that everyone knew was a Breitbart video. Okay. Guys, all I do is steal other people's content according to debate bros on the internet who don't know how to do basic research.
Video up of him declaring war, didn't cite Breitbart whatsoever in that.
Andrew Breitbart was in the video. It's a video of Andrew Breitbart. How much more clear do you want me to be, Rob, who doesn't know how to read? It was a video of Andrew Breitbart. Do you think that people were unclear that it was Andrew Breitbart in the video? Like, how stupid are these people? Andrew Breitbart is front and center on the screen, and he's like, "She didn't even tell anyone this is from Breitbart." And that's his evidence that I steal other people's content. Okay, bro. Okay.
I don't think that I don't know exactly what you think she would say about queer Marxism that would be at odds with what Andrew would say.
Yeah.
Guys, let's see how much you guys have been paying attention. For the chat, pop quiz for the chat. What would I say about queer Marxism that would be at odds with what Andrew Wilson would say about queer Marxism? This guy thinks that Andrew Wilson and I see queer Marxism the same way. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm literally just going to ask my chat. What do you think I would say about queer Marxism that is different than what Andrew Wilson would say? Everything? Yeah, okay, can we get a little bit more specific? Yeah, we would definitely disagree on how it's funded. Well, Andrew knows nothing about queer Marxism, so that might be a problem for him. That's very true. Any other thoughts? Yeah, that it's even a thing. We do know that it's a thing. Yep. Andrew probably thinks that queer Marxists are liberals. So true. Yeah, basically everything we would disagree on. Andrew Wilson doesn't even know what queer Marxism is. Andrew Wilson thinks that queer Marxism is about it being gay. I would say it's about being anti-capitalist. Andrew Wilson would definitely not say that. I would say that it has nothing to do with the LGBTQ or furries or economics. So true that it's anti-capitalist. I don't know. I've never watched anything Andrew Wilson has said that, he has some moments that are entertaining. We have to give credit where credit is due. Does Andrew even know the word totality? Probably not. Probably not. That it's about transcending gender, that queer is anti-capitalist and anti-assimilationist. Andrew would be saying it's about the Democrat Party. I would say this has nothing to do with the Democratic Party at all. Andrew Wilson doesn't even know the definition that the left uses for the term capitalism. I think that's a pretty good list, and I didn't come up with anything on that list. Andrew Wilson and I would have fundamentally different views about what queer Marxism is because Andrew doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
I guess I just don't know
That
her
is
enough.
thankfully. I just want to see like Lucas.
Okay. So that's video number one. But it doesn't stop there. So Trendlin keeps watching this show. And she said, he is doing a call-in show. You should call in. And I said, no, I don't think I'm going to call in Trendlin, actually. And then Trendlin starts sending me more videos. Because apparently Trendlin continued to engage on the show. And apparently this Rob guy who doesn't know how to read, apparently he thought that Trendlin was really me in disguise. I'm going to say that again. Apparently what we're going to see is this person thought that Trendlin is secretly me and that Trendlin was trolling him in disguise and it was secretly me. And, you know, it's really funny because this is one of the things that I just don't understand, this particular lie that people spread on the internet. They say over and over and over again that everyone in my chat is secretly me, that everyone who supports me on Twitter is secretly me, as if these people don't have sock accounts of their own. I'm just more upfront about the fact that I have a ton of Twitter accounts. I do have a ton of Twitter accounts, but I don't really need them anymore because now the block feature doesn't prevent me from seeing anything. So I can see whatever I want. So, but the rumor is that they spread through all of their different websites, and the thing they always say, this person is secretly Karlyn. This is a Karlyn sock account. And it's like, everyone in the chat, all of you guys are me, apparently. How many people in the chat? I'm just going to put my hands in the air so people know I'm not typing, but you can see the chat on the screen. I'll even make the chat bigger. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys are definitely not me. Put a 2 in the chat if you're secretly me and I'm typing while my hands are doing jazz fingers on the screen. 1 in the chat if no, you're your own person. We are not the same person. 2 in the chat if I'm magically typing in the chat while my hands are on the screen at the same time. Let's just show how many people bro, I'm super talented. Look how many accounts I'm running at a single time. Totally hands-free. Fun, huh? Fun. So then Trendlin, so then I said, Trendlin sent me that clip. Hang on. Where are the other clips? Here they are. So I haven't watched these clips yet. Trendlin sent me 2 more clips of her interacting with this Rob guy. And apparently, see, now we have to block all of Andrew Wilson's simps. Guys, I want the mods to know that if any of Andrew Wilson's simps get out of line in the chat, just block them, please. So let's see the rest of what happened, I guess. Hang on. And by the way, if he really thinks that Trendlin is me, you can see Trendlin in the recording of the thing.
I do think it's interesting now that I'm at least getting somewhat attention enough that people could come in and like use me as an excuse.
Who is that person? I don't even know who that woman is.
I don't know who you guys are either.
She's a libertarian from New Hampshire, and I think Vermont or New Hampshire, and she does her own content. She called herself a Marxist. Then she moved over to the.
I called myself a Marxist. I learned the most interesting things about myself on the internet. Have I ever been a Marxist? Oh no.
Right, but now she's like, in the middle, like.
Now I'm in the middle, guys. Now I'm in the middle. It's not like I make videos calling myself a far-right fascist on the internet. According to the debate bros who do excellent research and don't even know how to read, I'm in the middle.
Politically
So she lives
homeless.
in New Hampshire? I know a shit ton of people in New Hampshire that are libertarians. I've never met her.
Her big
I
thing.
know the executive director of the Free State Project.
Well, the executive director of the Free State Project is an asshole. The people running the Free State, there are many Free Staters that I adore and that I'm friends with. The executive director and the people running the Free State Project are a bunch of elitist assholes who I don't like to associate with, who treated members of my community who wanted to move to New Hampshire horribly when they were visiting, and so I no longer associate with them. Like, I hang out with my friends. I don't hang around with libertarians who are just causing problems and using Twitter accounts to stir up shit on the internet. Come on.
Her big thing is I think this is all I know. That I'd never heard of this person. Then it was brought up to me that she is the expert, the singular expert on Antifa.
Well, I would say the far left more broadly. I would not say I'm the singular expert on Antifa, but Antifa is in my area of expertise. But the far left more broadly, it's more broad than Antifa.
Right, and that she's embedded and she knows all about them.
Yep.
And all these other people, all these other people are stealing her work. So someone like Andy No. Andy No.
No, Andy No has never stolen my work. Andy No has misinformed his audience and ignored primary source evidence that he was given months ago.
Steals her work and this, that, and the other. I don't know anything about this. Maybe she's excellent. I know this. The moment that someone was like, you should talk to this person, I wrote the name down. It's like, yeah, I'll reach out to him. Then I had a bunch of people reach out to me and say, huge fucking mistake. This person is crazy.
I don't even know who these people are. And I'm not sure why I would waste my time talking to them, since they seem to be at least 50 IQ points beneath me. And I don't want to talk to them. And even if he wanted to talk to me, I would probably say no, because there's no point. And I don't know who they are. And he seems kind of, I'm just saying, he seems kind of a little unhinged. Like, I don't know what the point of a conversation would be.
Basically all but stalk you. If you try to question anything they say,
we're gonna stalk you if you question. This guy thinks we're gonna stalk him if he questions anything we. What the fuck is wrong with these people?
it's just going to be all out war. They'll focus on you the entire time. Not worth the drama. This was someone I trusted. I'm not saying that person was right. And I was like, okay, maybe not the person for me to talk to then. Maybe not. And
yeah, I don't know who you are, and I don't want to talk to you, and this is the first time I've ever heard of you, and you seem kind of like an unhinged retard.
Since then, every once in a while, I get people that'll come in and be like, you don't know shit, Karlyn Borysenko. How could you say this about her? And I'm like, I just really don't know much about her. Then I saw an interaction she had with Jake Rattlesnake on X. And this interaction was Jake just in the context of one of his videos. She clipped out a little second where he literally took like 10 seconds of apparently some video that was hers. And she went all in on about like basically what a piece of shit he was. He responds and it's like, you could have DM'd me. I talk positively about you. I don't understand where this is at, girl. I'll happily give your...
That is not even actually close to what happened, but I'm not going to go back and find the whole Twitter back and forth because I honestly don't really care that much. But if you guys, listen, let me just be brass tacks. If you guys think that Jake Rattlesnake came to me and said, You know what, Karlyn? I'm really sorry. I'll totally give you credit for that. If you guys really think that Jake Rattlesnake did that, and then I just continued to tweet at him incessantly for apparently hours, according to this guy, then you're not smart enough to be here. This is an IQ test. When Steven Crowder stole my content, exactly the same piece of content that Jake Rattlesnake stole, when Steven Crowder did that, we tweeted at him and we were like, what the fuck? And he came back. His producer apologized to me. They updated the credit. And Steven Crowder tweeted out like immediately, hey, thanks, Karlyn, for this. We're sorry we didn't give you credit the first time. And I was like, bro, that's fucking amazing. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And it was one and done. And now you're telling me that Jake Rattlesnake, who is someone that I barely even know and don't really consider in the day-to-day course of things at all, you're telling me that this guy said that Jake Rattlesnake came and said, Karlyn, I'm really sorry. I'll totally give you credit. And I just continued to tweet at him over and over and over again. If you believe this retard story, you failed the IQ test and you're not smart enough to be here. Hey, my fucking show. I'll do what I want. You $100 super chat if you want me to get to HT. If you want to tell me what content to play on my own show, you can send me money, and you can ask very nicely in the super chat. And if you expect me to go along with it, that must be at least 3 digits of money, because you're asking me to completely change what I want to do on my show to accommodate you, and you haven't given me anything in return. I will watch HT when I am good and ready to watch HT, unless you want to send me some money right now. That's how the internet works, bro. Anyway. Yeah, okay, whatever. This guy's a faggot, whatever.
10 seconds here, hey, check out Karlyn Borysenko, no problem. She doubles down. I would never do this, blah, blah, blah. I quickly look. I see that she's done the exact same with the video of Andrew Breitbart. So I was like, how about
Andrew Breitbart was in the video. Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Guess what? You just got permanently banned. Bye. Go away.
this? Did you give Andrew Breitbart credit for this? And that was the last I heard of it.
He was in the video, you retard.
Now you get irrelevant people that just want to stir up drama, who's probably a fan of hers, comes on and says, what do you think of Karlyn Borysenko? I nearly say, I don't know, I saw this negative interaction.
And now he's accusing me of sending Trendlin to do that when I didn't even know Trendlin was doing this. Trendlin was just fucking around.
As far as her beating Andrew Wilson in a queer Marxist debate, I don't know. I don't even know where her difference will be. I just know that I saw this interaction she had with Jake Rattlesnake, and it seemed pretty crazy. Now, that person then runs over to Karlyn and goes, look, this guy talked about you. I brought your name up on his show, and he commented about you. Now, she goes out and says, oh, Andrew Wilson's friends, Rob Norton, Jake Rattlesnake, talking shit on me, because she's going to try to stir up drama to hopefully sort of clout chase off of Andrew, and now she can clout chase off.
There's another video.
I do think it's interesting now. Talking shit on
Part 2.
me, because it's going to try to stir up drama to hopefully sort of clout chase off of Andrew, and now she can clout chase off of him because I brought up her name, because I do a call-in show and someone on my channel mentioned her, and I gave the most benign story whatsoever about her. That's it. That's what's going on. So,
now, question.
Let me just go back. Let me just go back. Trendlin texting me at 1:30 today. Rob just mentioned you and your beef with Rattlesnake on his live show just now. Me, I don't know who that is. Trendlin, he's Andrew Wilson's protege. What did he say? And then Trendlin sends me the first clip, and then I laugh. And he says, she's doing a call-in show, you should call in. And I said, I'm good. So if his theory is correct that I was trying to clout chase, wouldn't I have called into the show? Wouldn't I have actually just called into the show? Because Trendlin was literally texting me, trying to get me to call in. And then Trendlin sends me the next clip because she's continuing to fuck around in his chat. And she says, he is still ranting and he is now on Twitter. And I said, LOL, thanks. And then Trendlin called me and I said, Trendlin, just fucking send me the clips and I'll watch it later on the show. And okay. But the retards of the internet are sure that this must be me sending Trendlin to do my bidding because I wanted to clout chase off of them when I didn't even know who the fuck they were.
Question for you, Rob. Do you think that random person might actually be her so she could start it?
It could be, but I don't know. I just checked the X account and
They're all me. You guys are all me. Trendlin is secretly me. It's true. I am everywhere. I am everyone.
seems like it's a person. So here's the same name that was on.
Now he's got Trendlin's account up.
Housley has a picture, so it seems to me like probably someone that's different. Probably just a fan. It seems like a fan that's reposting her a lot.
The queer book.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. It is what it is, but like sometimes people could have good work, and it's just that there's such an intense personality and bring enough drama that it's like not worth dealing with that person.
I don't know who you are, and I don't want to talk to you.
That's the vibe I got. I just don't know, nor do I give a shit. And the idea that it's like
he's been ranting and raving about me for several fucking minutes for not giving a shit.
You know, I'm somehow like I'm not doing my research if I don't look into this woman. Why am I entitled to look into this woman? I don't give a shit.
Because you're talking about me on the internet, bro. So maybe if you actually looked into what you were talking about instead of just making shit up, that might be, I don't know. Aren't you supposed to be some sort of debate, bro? Aren't you supposed to have some sort of ability to discern fact from fiction? Or is this just all a big show where you literally just make shit up on the spot and you just run with that? I mean, maybe that's all Andrew Wilson and his friends really do in debate. They literally just make shit up. They claim it's a study. And then all of a sudden, no one can find the study on Google because they just made it up. Maybe that's actually just their strategy, is just to make shit up all the time. But if you're claiming to be a debate bro on the internet, wouldn't you, I don't know, do research before you run your fucking mouth?
She might be the greatest person in the world that's the best debater ever. I just, based on what people told me behind the scenes, hey, she's a little bit crazy. There's going to be a lot of drama if you get involved with her. Then seeing what she did to Jake, and then seeing that she's reposting this today, tends to lead me to believe that the original person that told me there would be a lot of drama was absolutely correct. That's exactly the direction.
Yes, because I'm the emotional one in this situation. One in the chat if you think I'm the emotional one in this situation. 2 in the chat if you think this weirdo who I've never heard of before is the emotional one in the situation. 1 in the chat if I'm the emotional one. 2 in the chat if this faggot's the emotional one. And again, I'm allowed to use that word. I've gay men in my chat that give me the F word pass. I'm allowed to say it, okay? This guy's gay, obviously. Wait, no, that was from Ineffectual Insurrection. Ineffectual Insurrection over on Rumble. Let me see. There are 3.4 million online operators per the, I don't know what that is, CTIL files. Most of these fools are either arrested criminals working as confidential human resources or military intel DoD contractors running PSYOPs. Probably true. Probably true.
For the planet. So, you know, probably good to not interact with her as much as possible. Maybe she's doing fantastic work. If so, thank you so much for your fantastic work. I have nothing to say about it. I don't really know. The only other thing I saw was she was basically going heavy after Andy No. Basically, he's like, I don't know if it was he sold out or he doesn't know what he's doing, and he's covering Antifa all wrong. And she's the only one that's covering it correctly.
No, not the only one at all that's covering it correctly. There are a lot of people that cover Antifa extremely well, just not Andy No.
Well, to be honest, when it comes to Antifa, I think no one can pretty much unravel and expose them as good as Data Republican, finding who financed them and all that.
Guys, Data Republican is going to save us all. As a reminder, I have debunked Data Republican using primary source evidence. Data Republican flat out spread misinformation on behalf of like the Republican establishment. And I DM'd her with primary source evidence saying this isn't real. She ignored it. And then she continued to spread the misinformation. So, these are some conservative cucks right here. These are some conservative cucks.
That kind of stuff. I don't know. Karlyn, she just likes to play in this drama too. She did play into a lot of the drama that happened in 2023 with Steven Crowder and the Daily Wire. That's really what shut me off. Like, that's between the
Okay.
Steven Crowder and the Daily Wire.
You mean when I was going undercover at socialist events in 2023? You mean when I went undercover for 4 fucking days at the socialism conference? You mean when I went undercover at the reproductive justice conference? And the thing that you retards remember most is I once did a stream talking about Steven Crowder and the Daily Wire when literally everyone and their mother was doing streams talking about Steven Crowder and the Daily Wire. How many streams did the Quartering do talking about Steven Crowder and the Daily Wire? How many streams did Tim Pool do talking about Steven Crowder and the Daily Wire? I did like 1 or 2 streams about it, and they're like, oh, this is all she does is play into this drama. That's all I remember because I'm a retard on the internet. Okay.
She played into the whole the fallout that was happening around him. You know, the conservatives was trying to drag his ass to the mud, especially the Daily Wire.
We got to get Mickey a headset. That's it. When you talk.
Yeah, that was years ago. Literally years ago.
There we go. I think this one might be Long Haul Nate. Might be the one lagging out here.
Oh, baby.
Lagging out.
Is it me? Dang it.
It might be you.
All right.
It's the Nate.
All right, I'll mute up for a moment.
That seems to be it. That Trendolin, is there anything else that happened on this stream that you would like to tell me about? It's like, man, this is why I don't interact with people like this on the internet. This is why. And this is why we just sit here and watch socialism, because, like, again, it's just like, once you actually look at the real content from the far left, once you try to compare my content, I'm sorry, like, you know, these guys are going to say, oh, she thinks too much of herself. She thinks that she's the #1 expert. Yeah, I do, actually. Yeah, I do. And my content is so fucking good that once people start watching my content, it is a mind-numbing experience to go back and to watch slop like this. Like retarded, emotional, unhinged men on the internet getting upset that someone sent a tweet that they didn't like. Like, imagine, like, really just imagine a reality in which you obsess over and over and over again for weeks, for months, for years on end about someone sending a tweet that you didn't like, or someone calling you out for you like stealing their work. And instead of just saying, you know, hey, sorry about that, you make it into a big fucking fight because you're a pussy of like a fake masculine man. Like, you're pretending to be this masculine man on the internet when in fact you're basically a woman. It's like these people hold on. Like, I didn't even remember covering the whole Steven Crowder Daily Wire thing. This guy remembers a piece of content that I made over 2 years ago that he didn't like. I don't even remember covering that. That's how many things I've done between now and then. It's like, but he's so like this. She took the side of Steven Crowder against the Daily Wire. How dare she? We cannot interact with people like this on the internet. We can't. We no. And Trendolin, I understand and I appreciate that you were trying to start drama that I had nothing to fucking do with. But like, it just demonstrates the point that we have to stay as far away from people like this as humanly possible. They only cause problems. They only bring riffraff into the audience. It's like, can we be expected to have his audience members who like his content come into my chat? That's not going to work at all. To watch his content, you have to be like a sub 75 IQ retard. And listen, luckily for him, there are a lot of sub 75 IQ retards on the internet, right? There's content for everyone on the internet. There's smart people content, and there is also stupid people content. But you have to admit, it's like the type of people who are attracted to this guy's content are going to be fundamentally different than the type of people who are attracted to my content. And those, we can't we can't cross the streams, guys. We can't do it. It will destabilize our pure community where everyone has to pass an IQ test. Everyone has to achieve a certain level in order to be here. Otherwise, we kick you out. We are an exclusive community. We are not an inclusive community. This guy apparently has an inclusive safe space community because he's trying to be famous and have clout on the internet. This guy's like the McDonald's of the internet, where he's trying to appeal to everyone. We are like the fine dining restaurant with only 50 seats in the house or something like that. We have a small footprint, but we do it better than anyone else, and only certain people can come here. And we keep the rabble out for a reason. Okay? So, I don't know, Rob, I guess I'll never hear from you again, and that's totally fine, and you can stay over there. And we're going to stay over here. And we're going to build a wall to keep you guys out. And we wish you a very nice life. And we're going to stay over here. Okay? All right. Let's talk about Nazis. Nazis. Who is ready to talk about Nazis? One in the chat if you know who HT is. 2 in the chat if you do not know who HT is. I explained this a little bit earlier in the stream, but for people who are new to HT is the Sallow of internet racists. Sallow is one of the most disturbing horror movies ever made in the history of humanity. If you've never watched it, don't watch it. But I can't think of a better way to describe what HT is like other than saying he is the absolute king of internet racists, and and he will say and do things that will shock and horrify you. And obviously I disavow everything HT believes. I do not agree with him. And so we're going to watch this news report that was made about HT. And no, this is not to be confused with Big Tech. No, Big Tech is a completely different person. And we're not going to talk about him anymore because I am sick of him being who he is. I'm fucking sick of it, okay? So this is not Big Tech. This is a completely different fucking person, okay? They are friends, which is why people are confusing them in the chat. Okay, so HT has his own website. HT has his own streaming platform, because if HT were on any streaming platform on the internet, he would probably get banned. HT says and does extremely racist things that we all disavow because we are on YouTube, and we would never say and do anything racist. But what we're doing is we're watching a news broadcast, and I can't be held responsible for this. This news broadcast is on YouTube. Okay? So we're watching a news broadcast reporting on HT on YouTube, and I just want to see what happened. And this is newsworthy content that YouTube should definitely not remove, because I'm not being hateful. I'm just watching a news report. All right. All right. Everyone has been warned. Send children out of the room and all that stuff. Let's see what happened.
It's one of those stories that was jaw-dropping even for me when I stumbled across it. And as I heard from the group of parents who joined us, most families have no idea that children are being targeted by adults who want to make them hate. For most parents, it's a hate that seems worlds away.
Oh my God, bro. You are a Jewish science experiment, bro.
But this hate is targeting your children.
Look at this Aryan Chad. Gonna hunt you down.
Targeting them.
Yeah, boy! Yeah! Let's go!
Inside their own bedrooms.
These young man! Woo! White power!
the man behind the videos, you have a problem with Jews in general, though.
Yes, I do.
Is John Menadio, the same neo-Nazi we had confronted outside City Hall.
Hitler was right!
His group, the Goyim Defense League, created scenes like this on the streets of Nashville in the summer of 2024.
You fucking retards. Like, now are you starting to understand what I mean when I say that HT is the Sallow of internet racists? Okay? Are you guys starting to get it? This is not a good look. I completely disavow all of this. This is not a good look, bro.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Even assaulting a young Jewish man in the dark of night.
All I know is I heard gunshots and I just ran out running. Yes, it was inside the school.
When a school shooting at Nashville's Antioch High School earlier this year left one student dead, another injured, the 17-year-old shooter left behind a manifesto that indicated he had been influenced at least partly by Menadio's hateful propaganda.
So what I do is I'm an entertainer, pro-white entertainer. I hate non-whites, okay?
Live streaming from his own racist website after being repeatedly banned from mainstream platforms, the Springfield, Missouri man makes money from other white supremacists who pay to cheer him on.
Hey, what's up? How are you?
How old are you?
I'm too old to be on this, but I'm warning women like you to stay away from these filthy.
As he goes into roulette-style video chat rooms.
How old are you?
I'm 12, about to be 13.
Where he often encounters children.
How are you?
So, good, how are you?
Good, man. How old are you?
10.
Awesome, man. Do you like...
No.
Good job. Yeah, white power to this.
We asked a group of parents to watch some of the clips with us to help us process what we were seeing.
Yeah! Don't get yourself wrong! Yeah! These
How Menadio's theatrics, including use of filters to change his appearance, have made him a celebrity among some kids, while others...
You'd be proud to be white and we're going to bury you.
Stop just to take in his shocking displays of cruelty.
Well, listen, I was planning on shooting up like a black school.
Here, these young girls try to talk him.
Listen, okay, disavow the shooting of the school. Disavow, no violence ever. But, like, I really do like his gay character that he does. The gay character is actually really funny. But obviously we disavow yeah, he's friends with big tech. Yeah, he is. Yeah. Yeah.
Out of the mass murder of innocent black children, while these young boys can barely contain their amusement over his overt racism.
More of this.
First reaction?
So sad.
Sickening.
Yeah, it's sickening. But I can't believe that guy's...
Well, I do think he is very funny. And I do think that he is doing a comedic performance to some extent. I also do think he believes the things he says, but I think he's doing it in a way that, listen, again, I disavow everything he says and everything he believes. I don't agree with him on many, 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 many things. But HT's never been mean to me. And so I'm not going to disavow him as a person. He's never done anything to me. But I will say that I think there's something very artful about being that extreme in what he puts out there deliberately to provoke the reaction. We need people like this in the world, even if you disagree with them and everything they stand for. You need people at the extreme to you need what is it? Provocateurs? There it is. Provocateurs. We need provocateurs. So
The whole thing is engaging with kids like that. That's just so pathetic.
Whoa! I thought there was in your house.
Get the gun, get the gun.
Then there are the guns.
Is it real?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you shoot something?
No, I can't, but it's real.
Oh,
I'm gonna go kill for Charlie Kirk.
And when he picks up that AR
and he's putting it in the sky. Again, there's another kind of
excitement, enthusiasm of, oh my God, wild.
What I hear you saying is the gun is used as the hook to sell the hate.
Absolutely.
Is your dad in your life?
Here, Menadio tries to befriend a 12-year-old girl whose dad had died.
That's also so predatory.
Yes.
To ask, where's your dad? Like he's looking for the vulnerable kids that are going to be looking for the strong male influence. And here he comes in with his big, strong gun.
Well,
absolutely.
I mean, okay, hang on a second. With all due respect, why the fuck are you letting your kids on those fucking websites? I don't necessarily like that HT is talking to kids. I'll be honest. I personally don't like that HT is talking to kids. Because he's talking to some real young kids, okay? But why are those kids on the internet in the first place? Where are their parents? Why aren't their parents keeping them off the internet? Why aren't their parents doing some sort of thing to prevent them from being on that website? You know? It's not HT's job to parent other people's children. He's not actually doing anything to them. He's not like going to their houses. He's not trying to meet them. He's not trying to do any of that. He's literally just talking to them in an internet chat room that is an 18 that those kids shouldn't even fucking be on in the first place because their parents have let them do whatever the fuck they want. So blame the parents, man.
And telling her dating advice and all of that, like that's just
like instant to grooming, right? Like he found his way in, and
we need more kids like you on this website because we got to be pushing this white power. Okay.
And once he's made the connection, the neo-Nazi tries to get the white kids to come to his websites and become followers.
Read that for me. The headline.
Every single aspect of the media is Jewish.
Disavow.
I have one of those flyers on my desk at work.
Obviously.
When they, going to the Defense League, were in town last summer, were distributing those pamphlets. That's what they were throwing on people's yards in the Jewish parts of town.
All of those are Jewish?
Yeah.
Fox? Yeah. Fox is Jewish?
Yes.
Yes. Comcast?
Yes.
Yes. Oh my God.
How does it feel to see kids embracing his lies?
No, it's terrible because the gun.
What was the lie? What was the lie though? But what was the lie? Listen, again, I don't have to like HT's tactics, but I don't actually think he's lying. I think he's presenting information in a way that these people don't like. But I'm pretty sure, can we just back up? Like, what did he actually lie about because he handed out a flyer you guys don't like?
Like you on this website because we got to be pushing this white power. Okay.
And once he's made the connection, the neo-Nazi tries to get the white kids to come to his websites and become followers.
Read that for me. The headline.
Every single aspect of the media is Jewish.
I have one of those flyers on my desk at work. When they, going to the Defense League, were in.
Imagine being this guy. Okay, let me say this. Imagine being married to this guy. For the women, for the boys, I want you to imagine being this guy. For the women, I want you to imagine being married to this guy. This guy is about to cry over a flyer. This guy is having an existential crisis over a flyer. He has saved this flyer and has kept it on his desk to relive the trauma of being handed a flyer that says the media is Jewish, which isn't actually untrue. Yeah, HT is making zines. Exactly. HT is making zines. He's handing out zines. HT is using the tactics of the left. You know, they work for a reason. And this guy has saved one of HT's zines and it's sitting on his desk. And sometimes he just looks over at it and he cries at how evil the world is because one day he got handed a flyer.
Town last summer, they were distributing those pamphlets. That's what they were throwing on people's yards in the Jewish parts of town.
All of those are Jewish?
Yeah.
Fox? Yeah. Fox is Jewish?
Yes.
Yes. Comcast?
Yes.
Yes. Oh my God.
How does it feel to see kids embracing his lies?
No, it's terrible because the guns, the racism, all those things are just props so that once he gets them in, it's like, all right, now let's get to the good stuff, hating the Jews.
Look at me, boy. Listen, I got something for you, you little Holocaust survivor.
No hating Jews on this channel. No anti-Semitism allowed. We love Jews. Hitler was the worst person that ever lived. HT is the second worst person that's ever lived. We disavow everything.
Come survive this.
And when Menadio encounters children who are not white,
here's what it's going to come down to, okay? In all honesty, okay? You people are a bioweapon, okay?
The Goyim Defense League leader can be unbelievably cruel.
You look like an ugly
mocking a biracial teen.
Oh, but you look like you're part. Is that true? Yes, sir. Man, that sucks, bro.
Calling him a Jewish science experiment. Eventually using a monkey doll.
Oh my God.
To act out the murder of a black baby. For Miriam Abulfazli, it was just too much to take.
Sorry.
It's evil.
You think about those that are being spewed hate on a platform like this, and even the biracial child was not willing to accept a part of him because he's like, I have this person in front of me that's telling me it's wrong. I have to believe it's wrong.
And he calls him sir.
Why was the biracial child on the website in the first place? Why was the child on the website? That is an age-restricted website. They're not even supposed to fucking be on it.
I know, that's what I thought. Yeah, he said
he internalized that like that.
Like it just was, yeah, he didn't even flinch.
He was so vulnerable. He was so vulnerable because it was somewhere else in him. It was somewhere else around him. And that man just dug that hole deeper and filled it with his hate.
For this group of parents, it was a troubling reminder of the Antioch High School shooter who had somehow come to hate his own skin.
That kid was taught to hate himself and to hate others and killed them.
Is it fair to call this child abuse?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, God,
Absolutely.
Now listen, you guys got to start playing with.
Wait. So HT is abusing children because the children's parents let them go on a website that they shouldn't have been on, and that's somehow HT's fucking fault? Listen, again, I don't agree with a lot of the shit HT says. I don't agree with a lot of the shit HT does. HT is a spectacle. HT cannot be contained. HT is going to do what he's going to do, and sometimes it's really funny, and sometimes it's shocking and horrifying, and it's supposed to be shocking and horrifying, because that's what he's fucking doing. But it is not HT's fault that those kids' parents are buying those kids' computers, giving those kids internet access, giving them fucking cell phones, letting them be completely fucking unmonitored on the internet to do whatever the fuck they want. That is not HT's fault. If anyone is abusing those kids, it is their own fucking parents.
Guns, okay? Joysticks. Joysticks are for.
Adding to the horror, Menadio encourages the kids to get guns and prepare themselves to become killers.
All right, so you know what that means? It's time to strap up and get ready for a complete race war. So here's what's coming, guys. Race war. White power, lead, okay? White power, lock and load, okay? You need to be at the shooting range. Get ready to kill.
For Sarah Shoup Newman, it brought back memories of the deadly day at Nashville's Covenant School when a shooter roamed the halls of her child's school.
When a trans shooter, they're comparing the trans shooter to HT. Of course they are.
It's just utter depravity. I think about the evil that walked through the halls those days, and you can't comprehend it. You can't try to figure out why, and he's breeding it.
Lock and load.
Are they saying that HT groomed the trans shooter in Nashville? That's a little bit of a leap, isn't it?
It's just utter depravity. I think about the evil that walked through the halls those days, and you can't comprehend it. You can't try to figure out why, and he's breeding it.
Lock and load. Lock and load on the top.
Yeah, okay, listen, HT is not a Christian. HT does not believe in Christianity, but there's one thing I can say for sure. HT would never condone the shooting of white children. Like, come on. He's the king racist of the internet. HT would never condone the shooting of white children.
There you go. And Manadio cheered on this teen, pretending he was shooting black people. Then the neo-Nazi mocked the tears of a grieving black parent.
A mother crying because their child has been taken. That's a pain that man will never understand.
Amber Posey lost her own daughter, Ashante, 5 years ago to gun violence.
Hearing him attempt and mimic or mock.
I wonder if her daughter was killed by a black person or a white person. She lost her daughter 5 years ago to gun violence. 1 in the chat if you think her daughter was killed by a black person. 2 in the chat if you think her daughter was killed by a white person. It's interesting they don't say who did it, right? 1 in the chat if you think her daughter was killed by a black person. 2 in the chat if you think her daughter was killed by a white person. Maybe that's the point that HT is making.
Crying sent me back to April the 9th of 2020 when I let out my own screams. With my child. When I had to tell her friends, her AAU coach, her siblings, call her grandmother, her great-grandfather, and say that their grandchild had been murdered, the first murdered victim in our family. And you make a mockery of that for clickbait?
Person or a white
That's
person.
not okay. That's not okay.
I can't escape the financial factor. I can't.
And the people were giving it when like the worst parts came
that's
up.
why
You
he
see
does
the
it.
thing.
It's so clear to me.
Bam! Go feed it, right? Stop giving them money. Feed them bullets.
In these videos, these people see a man willing to take advantage of innocent young children for the payouts from his sick followers who thrive on that hate.
I'm all for free speech.
That's not
That's
speech.
not
This
speech.
is a
Those
crime.
are
This is
threats.
exploitation of
Those are
minors.
actual threats.
Yes.
Let's go kill him, bro. Let's go kill him.
Hunting season. Woo! All right, brother. You're getting it. How old are you?
Wow.
John Manadio responded to my questions in a chat on X, insisting that he is not the problem. He said no one under the age of 18 is supposed to be on these video chat apps saying, and these are his words, you should blame their parents.
Yes!
Obviously, that's no excuse for his own conduct. He also said he offers a disclaimer on his podcast that he does this, quote, for entertainment purposes only, and that he disavows any violence. Of course, that's not something he tells any of the children.
And I feel like many parents are
The children shouldn't be on the website.
watching this and asking, what app is he using?
Yeah, that's probably the most important takeaway we can bring tonight. The main one is something called Oh Me TV, although there are others. One is called Monkey. I checked them out, and there are a lot of kids there. Parents really need to check their children's electronics tonight. From what I saw, this is not any place that any child should ever be.
And despite everything we just saw, you found that it appears he's still not doing anything illegal?
Not that we can tell at all.
Unbelievable. All right, we know you're going to stay on top of this story, Phil. A really important one. As we mentioned, this is part of...
Yeah, HT is a deeply important story. HT is probably the most important thing that's happening on the internet. All right, so HT apparently responded. So there was a follow-up story. Let's see what HT had to say.
We begin tonight with a stunning reaction from a neo-Nazi at the center of an exclusive news...
Wait. Are you shitting me? They opened their news broadcast with an update from HT. I understand this is some sort of local news show, but like The leading story on this news broadcast is an update from HT. Yeah, HT basically owns this news channel now. We open tonight with an update from that horrible neo-Nazi.
We begin tonight with a stunning reaction from a neo-Nazi at the center of an exclusive News Channel 5 investigation, now celebrating his possible role in influencing a deadly school shooting. Thanks for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Rory Johnston. Last night, we first revealed how that neo-Nazi targets online video chats that are popular with children, trying to spread his hate. Well, John Minadio was watching, and his reaction is something you have to see for yourself. Our chief investigative reporter, Phil Williams, continues his confronting hate investigation. Phil, this man apparently has no shame.
Not at all. Last night, we reported that the shooter at Antioch High School left behind a manifesto that included material from John Minadio and his Goyim Defense League. So when he went back online later in the evening, I expected he would deny any connection. That was not what happened. And again, a warning, we've bleeped his words, but the cruelty may be tough for some people to take.
You know, when I see these kids, you know, getting pumped up saying white power, and they're getting ready for what's happening because they're having to go live through this.
Listen. I'm gonna listen to what HT has to say. But can we just all acknowledge for a moment? It was several months back that HT shaved off his beard, and that was a deeply disturbing thing for me because I feel like HT's beard is a part of who he is, and his beard was getting pretty like he shaved off his beard, and it was so disturbing to see him clean shaven for a while, and I'm really glad that the beard has come back. And I think that he should never, ever, ever shave off the beard again. And I just wanted to put that out there.
It's, you know, getting pumped up saying white power, and they're getting ready for what's happening because they're having to go live through this as children. I don't take back any of that at all.
On his latest podcast episode, neo-Nazi John Minadio was unapologetic as he played video from News Channel 5's investigation into his activities.
White power. There you go.
How he goes into online spaces frequented by kids.
You look like an ugly
berating children of color he meets there.
Now, why do we allow Jews to control all of our media?
And grooming white children to accept his hate, urging them to...
I do, actually. My husband has an amazing beard, okay?
...arm themselves.
You need to be at the shooting range, get ready to kill...
and to get ready to kill. What I didn't expect was him to fully embrace the notion that he and his group, the Goyim Defense League, might have played some role in influencing the deadly shooting last year at Nashville's Antioch High School. The 17-year-old shooter left behind a manifesto that indicated he had been influenced at least partly by Minadio's hateful propaganda.
Yes! Yes! Let's go!
Oh, no. Oh,
influencing to kill. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Propaganda's so strong over here. I'm gonna get all these to kill each other.
Something's deeply off with him.
Obviously.
That this is where he feels comfortable.
In Minadio's videos, these Nashville parents saw a man who doesn't care about the consequences of his actions.
If I gotta go to heaven with I'm just gonna kill myself, man. I'm just kidding.
Here, acting in front of a child as if he's going to commit suicide.
Dude, what are you doing hanging out with this?
And here, a pair of teen boys horse around with what could be real guns, and the black kid sticks a gun to his own head.
I mean, that kid in there holds a gun to his own head, and then his friend holds a gun to his head.
And Minadio...
Why does that kid have a gun? Where did the kid get the gun? They're pissed off that HT has a gun on his side. Where the fuck did the kid get that gun? Whose fault is it that that kid has a gun? Is it HT's fault that kid has a gun? Or is it someone else's fault that that kid has a gun? Did HT wizard a gun into that kid's bedroom through the computer? Where did it come from?
guns, and the black kid sticks a gun to his own head.
I mean, that kid in there holds a gun to his own head, and then his friend holds a gun to his head.
And Manadio doesn't know whether those are real guns or toy guns, and he's saying, pull the trigger.
Here, you shoot him, I'll shoot this one. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Boom!
While it may have been a joke for those teens, these parents say they see nothing funny about this neo-Nazis' hate.
And the more you do it, the more normal it's going to be. So the next time when he's mad at his friend, what's going to happen? How easy is it going to be to pull the trigger for real?
John Manadio begins his shows with a couple of disclaimers, perhaps for legal reasons, denying that he is encouraging violence. But as you saw there, he has no problem celebrating it when it does happen.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that disclaimer, Phil. I think it's worth touching on for parents who may not have seen part 1 last night. Explain where he's actually interacting with these kids.
Yeah, it's in these roulette-style video chat apps where people meet strangers. One is called Me TV.
Right.
Another is called Monkey. None of them is a place that any child should be.
Right.
I know this is not the end of the
websites.
investigation.
We will continue.
Phil, thank you.
Okay. Someone in the chat said they did more reporting on HT. So this is from a week ago, and they've done more. What, that 1 day ago? There's another one. Okay, we've got an HT update. Is there another? Hang on. Is there another one before this though? We're having 8 more breaking news around HT. That was a day ago. Let me just look up Nazi. 8 days ago. Oh, here's 4 days ago. Oh, they're talking about the whites only community. Hang on. Is there another one about HT? 7 days ago. Oh, 6 days ago. Okay, here's another one on HT. So this is the next one. Okay, so this is the next one in the series. Wow. Okay. Next update on HT on the news.
Site not found. Following an exclusive News Channel 5 investigation, 2 notorious websites used by neo-Nazis targeting children are now offline. Thanks for being with us. I'm Rory Johnston.
And I'm Carrie Sharp. Those websites disappeared overnight following 2 stunning reports from our News Channel 5 Investigates team.
Our chief investigative reporter, Phil Williams, may have nudged internet providers to take action. Phil, what's the latest? What do you know?
Well, the dominoes began falling last night after I reached out to the company hosting these vile websites, asking for comment, and the fallout continued throughout today.
I'm gonna get all these to kill each other.
Monday night, Neil.
Do these people understand that HT is only going to come back bigger and stronger from whatever they try to do to him? Do these people understand that they just made HT like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars more than he would have made otherwise? Do they understand that he's going to attract more fans and people are going to get more like ingratiated to him because of all this bullshit?
Nazi John Manadio was celebrating the attention following a News Channel 5 investigation that revealed how he was using his hate-filled websites to target children.
Hang on. Hey, McCarlinism, can you send me this? Can you send me this icon? This is cool. I hadn't seen this before. Can you send me that?
Then late Tuesday night, those websites suddenly went dark. Wednesday afternoon on X, Manadio was more subdued.
What's going on, guys? Got a lot of messages about, this boomer brain, psychopath. Currently the website's down for a little bit, but I got another option. Got a few other options, but I will let you guys know when it's time. I'll post something where I'll be live streaming. I'm an entertainer, pro-white entertainer. I hate non-whites, okay?
Our investigation revealed how Manadio was live streaming video chats with children, mocking children of color while trying to recruit white kids, urging them to buy guns and get ready to kill. Internet records show his streaming service was being hosted by a company called Crunchbits, but after News Channel 5 Investigates contacted the company Tuesday night asking for comment, Manadio's website suddenly went offline without explanation. Reappearing Wednesday morning, this time the host we discovered discovered was Comcast. But shortly after we reached out to the company, Manadio's streaming site,
I don't know, man. Seems kind of Jewish. Seems a little Jewish.
again, could not be found. You have a problem with Jews in general, though.
Yes, I do.
For the head of the neo-Nazi Goyim Defense League, the possibility of being deplatformed could be costly. So far this year, his live stream has raked in more than $100,000 from his supporters. In the group's chats, one person commented, "Damn, this journalist Phil from Tennessee really did a number on the future of streaming," adding, "If anyone streaming wants to get into trucking, hit me up." And neither of the internet companies responded to my request for comment, nor did John Manadio respond directly. Although he suggested in one post that my actions amounted to what he called treason. One of his followers suggested in a post on X that the group was now at war with me, something that Manadio quickly disavowed, saying, "Don't even play with these whack jobs. They will have the FBI at your door for threats."
So
of course,
true.
We'll stay on the story and let you know what happened.
See, look at how responsible HT is being. Look at how responsible. This jackass boomer journalist is trying to get him completely deplatformed off the internet. HT's fans are getting pissed off because they want to watch his streams. And HT's like, no, don't go after him because the FBI is going to knock on your door. I think that HT behaved very responsibly in this situation by telling people to cut off cut it out. And I feel like he should be getting credit for that. I feel like he should be getting credit. All right, what is the next HT story? This is from 1 day ago. Breaking HT update.
For our kids, online video chats can be so shocking that many view it as entertainment.
But tonight, a mental health professional warns those chats can also bring danger. Good evening to you. I'm Carrie Sharp.
And I'm Rory Johnston. Last week, right here on News Channel 5 at 6, our exclusive investigation revealed how a prominent neo-Nazi was using video chat rooms to target unsuspecting young people.
Tonight, our chief investigative reporter, Phil Williams, sits down with a counselor to talk about the need to better protect our kids.
I had a very visceral reaction to it.
If you've had trouble processing how a neo-Nazi could target innocent children online, Lauren Martin wants you to know you're not alone.
It's like that thing of I was shocked, but also not shocked because anything is possible. And my brain just immediately went to, how is this able to continue?
White power! Oh my God, how are you? Hi.
It's like watching this. It's a reminder of just how out of touch most people are. And again, HT is an extreme character. He is an extreme character. So I'm not necessarily saying that everyone and their mother should know who HT is. But I am saying it's like these parents, again, it's like this woman has no idea that any of this stuff exists. This woman is completely walled off from the reality that many of us understand and have existed in for years on the internet. I'm not saying everyone on the internet's a racist, but like if you're on the internet, you know this stuff exists, and it's just like we are in two completely different worlds.
Able to continue.
White power! Oh my God, how are you? Hi.
Why are you so loud?
I'm sorry.
On one hand, the licensed counselor gets why some kids are attracted to John Manadio's shtick when they encounter him in their video chat rooms.
He's a character. Even if that's him, if I saw him at a party.
That is a classic. We should watch that for movie night sometime. For people that talk radio, man. What a classic movie.
I'd be like, that is a character.
Oh, yeah! Woo!
And she understands why some children play along.
They're probably super uncomfortable, and that was their way to get through it.
But some of the kids are really enjoying it.
And that's like where it feels edgy. Like what people are saying, this is entertainment. It's a joke. They're in it for the plot.
What she does not understand is how the neo-Nazi treats the innocent kids he meets.
Good, how old are you?
14.
You look like you're a good kid.
Mm-hmm.
Here he goes from talking to this child about black people to pretending he's going to commit suicide on camera.
If I gotta go to heaven with I'm just gonna kill myself, man. I just
Wow.
can't.
After saying don't, the boy rises from his chair in anticipation. For Lauren Martin, it's a disturbing moment.
It's almost like that. He's not being serious, is he? Or almost like confusion. And so you're trying to make sense of what's going on.
We're not going to play the sound, but Manadio uses a sound effect to pretend he fires the gun, then slumps back in his chair. The teen just keeps staring blankly into the camera. Tell me from a therapist standpoint, how bad is the fact that he would do this to a child?
I mean, you don't have to be a therapist to know that. It's not good.
Martin says much of what she has seen in these videos would, from the perspective of most mental health professionals, be considered child abuse.
Then perhaps she should tell their parents to get them off the internet. Perhaps she should be discussing parental responsibility. Perhaps there should be an op-ed or some sort of feature about how to block the websites your kids can go on. It's like what, like they're basically rerunning the same story about HT over and over. This is exactly the same story. They have rerun the same story 4 fucking times. And in every single one of these cases, it's like there's no fault on the parents. It's just HT being a child abuser, but he didn't force any of those kids to be on that platform.
But regardless of the semantics, it's not okay. It's potentially psychologically damaging to kids. And if anything, it definitely leaves an imprint on their nervous system.
What's up, bro? Our investigation discovered that Manadio finds his victims in roulette-style video chat rooms like Omi TV, designed to connect people with strangers for conversation. When I went online, I found lots of kids. There were also men and women exposing themselves. There I met 18-year-old Nora and her friend Jack.
Grandpa, what are you doing on here? Get the off of your Gramps.
I'm actually an investigative reporter out of Nashville trying to talk to people about this app.
Wow. We have a Rumble rant from, let's see, Alabama. They have edited this report since it airs. The counselor said she would enjoy hanging out with him at a party. Anyone would enjoy hanging out with HT at a party. HT would be super fun to hang out with. And again, I feel like I need to keep saying this because I'm on fucking YouTube. I don't like a lot of the things HT says and does. Like, for real, not even being sarcastic. Like, I don't agree with a lot of the things he says. I don't agree with a lot of things he does. But he's funny as hell, and he would be super fun to hang out with at a party.
Let me tell you, this app is weird as fuck. It's for pedophiles. You can tell them that.
They described encounters on Omi TV that included disgusting sex acts so bizarre that we can't even describe them here. Are you making that up?
No, this is actual stuff that happens on here.
People do this on Omi TV because they know there's no consequences.
I've been on this app since I was 12. I was groomed on here multiple times.
And I heard...
So maybe the news network should go after the app and try to get them deplatformed. Maybe they should be doing that.
Similar stories from this young man whose name is Sonny.
I mean, I run into like a lot of like grown men just like doing inappropriate things, you know, like in front of kids. You feel me?
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously. Like grown men, like full on, you know, touching themselves.
Okay. I've heard of so many different stories of like different experience people have had on here of like weird guys and like all types of different things. Like,
So why are you on the app?
It's funny and it's fun.
Entertainment.
It
like
really
being on
is.
the phone,
It's
but with
good
random
entertainment.
Well, it's number 11 on the Apple App Store. So this isn't just a niche app.
Wow.
Kids and predatory adults are downloading this.
Recently, Australian TV covered a warning issued by their country's e-safety commissioner to the Portuguese company behind Omi.
Oh, they're Portuguese. Figures. Andre, thank you for the super chat. The sad reality, the parents are too lazy to watch their kids and think the government is their babysitter. Many illiterate parents into idiocracy. Indeed, this is literally all the parents' fault.
TV. As a result, Google and Apple have now pulled the app from their stores.
How old are you?
I'm 12, about to be 13.
But it's still available on the web, providing a target-rich environment for trolls like this neo-Nazi to target kids. What is the risk of these children being desensitized to this hate and to this racism?
I mean, it's huge.
That's why this mental health professional sees in Manadio's hateful videos another reminder of why it's critical for parents to be mindful about the online space.
I mean, this is the point, right? This is the point. And I agree with this. I don't agree with what he's saying, but I know that his freedom of speech is more important than my opinion about his beliefs. No one has to listen to HT if they don't want to. I mean, the reality is, even the kids that encounter him on that app, it's like they can skip on to the next person whenever they want to. No one is forcing anyone to talk to HT. No one is forcing anyone to watch HT. No one is forcing anyone to follow HT on Twitter. No one is forcing anyone to download HT's flyers. No one is forcing anyone to go onto HT's website to watch his show where he does this. No one is forcing anyone to watch HT's clips. No one is forcing any kids to be on that app. No one is forcing the kids to stay talking to HT when they come on to him. They could just go move on to the next person. They could just hit a button, and that's all it is. No one is forcing those parents to allow their kids on the internet. Like, no one is forcing anyone to do anything in this situation. Many people in my chat probably didn't even know who HT was before I told them. It's like he's an eminently avoidable person if you don't want to be around him. But regardless, HT has the right to say and do whatever the fuck he wants.
Spaces their children may be exploring.
I know that we're already overwhelmed. I know that we have a lot to monitor, but we have to stop sticking our heads in the sand and kind of fall into that narrative of like, they're not on that app.
Phil Williams, News Channel 5 Investigates.
Phil, thank you. So what can parents do? Lauren Martin suggests staying informed about gaming platforms, chat apps, and online spaces where kids connect. Resources like the website Common Sense Media can help. Also, keep electronic devices in shared family spaces where you can naturally check their online interactions. Teach kids to trust their instincts and remind them they can always walk away, block someone, or come to you without consequences.
She also recommends that you set clear expectations that you will review their online activity. And finally, help kids understand that harmful people often start out by being friendly and finding common interest before introducing dangerous ideas.
All right. Well, that seems to be the end of their neo-Nazi coverage for right now. But you know what? We'll keep an eye on the breaking news alerts from HT. And actually, let's look at HT's Twitter. Let's see, what is HT doing on Twitter? Is HT saying and doing anything interesting? Let's see. HT versus a communist? Oh! What the fuck?
What?
Okay, HT beat up a communist. I can't say I'm upset about that if I'm being honest about it. Let's see. Oh, God.
Hi, how are you? You look like a gorgeous half-black nigger.
Ah! Disavow! Oh, no. I should not be playing this on my channel. Why is HT dressed like a priest?
That's so racist, John.
Listen,
Very racist.
listen.
Racist and
Are you
wrong.
Christian?
No.
Are you Muslim?
No, Muslim.
What? Can you turn down your nigger ball for a second so we can
Hold
talk
on,
about
just
serious
now.
issues?
Oh, like what is that? Do you believe in God?
I'm Christian, okay? So what the fuck do you think? He died.
Yeah.
He died for our sins.
I don't think you believe in God because you got like a Satan thing right there on your wrist.
This isn't Satan. This is a cross where Jesus was nailed on by Romans and savages like you.
Listen, real shit. You popped up. I'm getting this evil vibe, like this very Satan vibe. It's like I'm getting this bad emotion. Like I'm getting this.
Oh, you know, I thought the same thing when I saw you.
Oh, no.
Ugly ass nigga! Fuck you!
Disavow. Disavow. See, he moved on to the next. Disavow.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Oh, no.
Hi, guys. Do you believe in Jesus Christ?
Oh, no.
Okay, what did he die for?
Our sins.
See, this is now you guys are getting the true experience. You're getting the true HT being the sallow of internet racist experience. It's like, listen, again, disavow. But it's also like, I can't turn away. I can't stop watching it because it's like, this is the car wreck.
Sins! Oh my god, that's right. Are you guys Catholics? Okay, do you guys know I'm kind of famous? Okay, do you guys know who Nick Fuentes is?
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah, so I'm Tammy Cohen Fuentes. I actually brought Nick into the church when he was a lot younger as a toddler, and he was like an altar boy. So I've helped groom him.
Yo, that's cool.
Yeah, so like Christ is King.
Exactly.
Yes, obviously. Right.
Okay, so I got a quick question because a lot of people don't know the true facts about Jesus Christ. So I want to ask you guys some questions, okay? Is Jesus A, Chinese, B, Jewish, or C, black?
Jewish.
None.
Jewish? Good answer. Oh my god! Oh my god! Okay, since Jesus had 12 apostles that were all Jewish, did Jesus ever have sex?
No.
Yes.
So does Jesus, was he in the closet?
Jesus was gay. Yeah, true.
I mean, you never really know.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Gay.
They did get crucified before anything.
Well, before he got crucified, they were doing circumcision. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
What is circumcision?
When they cut your foreskin.
They cut off your foreskin. So in order to be part of this Jewish Christian gang, you had to chop off your penis. Now, if you guys were hanging out together, eating chow mein, would you guys just decide to just touch each other's penises and decide to like just... That sounds pretty gay, huh?
It does sound pretty gay.
Jesus is a total faggot. White power, fuck Jesus! Yeah! Fuck Jesus, nigger, and fuck!
Disavow, HT, disavow. What else does he have on here? Let's see. What else is HT doing? That's a stream. It's from the other day. This is from yesterday. 4 stories in a row. Yup. What's this? Okay.
My mom's watching Nick Fuentes and now she's going to fucking church!
Oh no. L.
No!
Mom, L.
No, you're not my mom anymore. My mom's watching Nick.
Oh no, HT lost control of his own mother. All right. Well, I guess we'll wait for another breaking news update on HT from Phil the journalist. Let's see. And that's it. All right, you guys want to watch some Antifa? All the neo-Nazis can leave now. You guys finally got what you wanted. I watched the thing about HT. It's time for Antifa. It is Antifa time. All right, we have 2 videos about Antifa. The first one is about 12 minutes long. And here's my question. This is a video that says they tell you what to think instead of how to think. In this powerful documentary short, 3 individuals share their journey from deep ideological commitment to profound disillusionment. former Antifa speaks about her fears of voicing her opinions out loud. Here's what I want to know. Here's what I want to watch for. Are these real former Antifa? Or listen, if the neo-Nazis want to stay, you guys can stay. We're just done with the HT segment. Neo-Nazi, like, listen, people of all political persuasions, I don't really care what your political beliefs are. I have National Socialists who watch my content for the communism, okay? If the neo-Nazis, like, I'm not kicking you guys out. I'm just saying that the HT segment is over and we're moving on to something else. So if you guys want to learn about Antifa and communism, you can stay. Fine, whatever. So, I want to know if these are real Antifa or fake Antifa, and then we're going to move on to the Portland one, which I think that one's all real. I know that's all real, but I have questions about this one. So, let's see what happened.
Start the revolution, break the system.
There is no undo button in revolutions.
In hindsight, I can see the red flags like a mile away with what's going on at school. There is this persistent culture of what is right and what is wrong. There's no nuance. You have to obey. You don't ask questions. And if you speak up, you...
See, I already think this person's not real Antifa. I don't think there's a snowball's chance in hell this person was actually in Antifa, because this person is saying conservative talking points that, like, a conservative would say if they were pretending to be a former leftist.
Will be punished and you will be ostracized.
That's a conservative.
I decided to examine my beliefs as an exercise, but just look up the opposite side of the argument, which I hadn't honestly pursued before. And over time, I realized that I had some really bad beliefs.
I come from Iran. My parents were believers in the Islamic Revolution. And like millions of other people my age, I was told and I believed that I was living in the best country in the world until sometime in high school when doubts started.
The way that I grew up, I had people that were older than me expressing a white supremacist ideology and went from one extreme to the other. I felt so much shame and guilt that instead of finding nuance, I just did the exact same thing, but on the opposite side, as a way to atone for my sins, essentially. When I first went into social work school, I was very bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and I really thought...
I have to say, there is no universe in which this person was in Antifa. And the reason I say that is not only that they're using talking points that conservatives use when they're pretending to be former leftists, this person does not speak with the cadence of Antifa. Antifa and the far left have a very specific cadence with which they speak. They have very specific language that they use. They have very specific language that they don't use. This is completely fake.
That everyone was open to listening and learning from each other. I noticed that there was an expectation of the way that you were supposed to answer questions for assignments. The students there wanted to be social workers, and they are saying that they are refusing to give services and work with a client based on their political beliefs or their religious affiliations. I honestly remember just standing there in complete disbelief, because if you're helping someone fill out a food stamp form, why does it matter what their political belief is? That was the first time I really had a crack in my own ideology of blindly agreeing with everything that was expected of being a young liberal person.
Liberal. Exactly. Liberal. not Antifa. Those are two very different things.
A lot of it was frankly very chill and very fun. I mean, it did feel like summer camp. We just like hang out on the couch, like smoke weed, play soccer in the street. But there was other elements to it that were definitely not so nice.
Like what?
I remember taking a marker and marking over all of my tattoos. And this is a very specific and intentional tactic to avoid identification by the authorities. Antifa, it was a destructive group in the sense that open inquiry is not considered. You suffer social cost when you start to question. So when I started to get these red flags about like, I don't know. I don't think communist revolutions were like always that great.
Oh, come on. No. Fake Antifa. Again, she doesn't speak with the cadence of Antifa. If she was actual Antifa, there would have been very different things that she would have done other than taking a marker and covering up her tattoos. She could have talked about being in Black Bloc. She could have talked about like how they wear their clothes when they're in Black Bloc, specifically to prevent from being identified or prevent their DNA from being collected or things like that. There's any number of things that she could have said that is actually in line with what Antifa says and does. Antifa doesn't go. There is not a single fucking person in Antifa that goes, you know, a lot of people have died in communist revolutions. No, that doesn't happen. Fake.
I had studied the Cultural Revolution. It was an atrocity. But I didn't feel like it was a good idea for me to necessarily like voice that out loud.
Yeah. And Antifa's against Maoism.
No one was allowed to have any kind of individuality. I remember one of my classmates had said that whenever they write a paper, they basically just add buzzwords in because they know that's the only way that they can get a good grade.
Queer and feminist BIPOC traditions from decolonial abolitionist perspectives. That's what I was here to teach.
And it worked every time.
There are lots of American parents whom their children are going to the same buildings that they went to, and they had the same name as they went to. But unfortunately, in decades, there's been a systemic infiltration by a group of disgruntled, highly ideological people who thought that the best way to shape society is by shaping its education.
Revolutions require on-the-ground organizing work. And so the question is, do people want a revolution, an actual revolution, a real revolution? Do they want to be revolutionary?
Unfortunately,
that specific professor, we've talked about that specific professor before. That guy is extremely far left. That guy is extremely pro-Palestine. That guy's a critical race theorist. That guy is actually like an Antifa type person. But the kids are not. The people they're interviewing are not.
Minority of highly ideological, Marxist-friendly people. They've completely taken over.
I hope you seek to dismantle the United States. And if that isn't your politics, okay, everyone should just be on board with it. No questions asked.
Teaching is a revolutionary act. So let us start the revolution, break the system to its very core.
You are paying for an education, but it's not an education, it's an indoctrination.
Students are going to get radicalized when they're juniors, and then there'll be...
That's my clip! I literally made this fucking clip. Wow. Well, that's familiar. I wonder where you got that. Oh, Karlyn just complains that people steal her work all the time. I literally clipped this live. I clipped this specific section, what she says here. I clipped this live when it happened live because we were watching it live on the internet the moment that it fucking happened. Karlyn just complains that people steal her work all the time.
Active in their senior year and they'll go. We do have control of our classroom. Think about our students as agents of liberation.
I left higher education and work in a high school now. So everyone who raised your hand and said that you got radicalized in college, imagine if you got radicalized 4 years earlier. We need to organize undergraduates to join in this struggle.
This person is there
I clipped literally all of that live. Like, I mean, I put it on the internet minutes after it happened. That was from the Socialism Conference in July of this year. We watched the entire thing on my channel. You can go back and look.
To tell you what to think instead of how to think. There is no understanding that the truth might be complicated and nuanced.
I saw a lot of performative social justice that didn't have a lot of nuance to it. I saw a lot of it kind of being sort of a fad or an expectation.
I saw a lot of performative social,
social justice that didn't have a lot of nuance to it. I saw a lot of it kind of being sort of a fad or an expectation to conform, or even honestly just a social event.
I honestly don't know. Why are we protesting here? We'll be free. I wish I was more educated.
The protests that are going on now are different because of how extreme it's become, how unwilling people are to have any conversation.
We don't want you to speak here. Your words are violence.
When I went from one side to the other, it was two sides of the same coin.
Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. Our streets. Our streets. Our streets. Our streets.
The same persistent bullying, cancel culture, black and white thinking, absolute truths, it's us versus them, is creating the same thing. It's creating hate.
There should be death to America.
Yeah,
America should not exist.
I don't even think she was that far left. I mean, if she was on the left, she was just like a know-nothing, like Democrat liberal. Probably watched like MSNBC and all that stuff.
It seems like I'm seeing high definition, the kind of grainy black and white footage of the revolution in Iran.
University students demonstrating in Tehran shouting death to the Shah pledge allegiance to the Islamic movement of the Ayatollah.
The slogans are almost an exact echo, and also the intensity, the fact that they get so obsessed with it that they think that if they do this, if they just do this, it's going to make everything much better. And oh boy, were they wrong. In Iran, these Marxist influenced students were hoping
they really don't.
and expecting that they were going to use Khomeini and the religious people to...
One in the chat if it seems likely that this video was made by Jewish people. 2 in the chat if you think that this video was not made by Jewish people. Because Average Person brings up a really good point. The left does not talk about Iran. Like, ever. The left talks about Palestine. The left does not talk about Iran. Why is there a whole segment in this video where there are already 2 fake people pretending to be former Antifa that were obviously not former Antifa? I just think this all seems a little bit Jewish.
To establish a Marxist regime. What they had not anticipated was that...
Hang on. If it is so performative, then why do they actually run reconnaissance and mutual aid? Yeah, because she doesn't know what she's talking about when she said it was performative. Exactly.
Khomeini ended up outsmarting them. Not only they did not get political freedom, they lost their social freedoms as well. Many of their leaders were executed. What is sad about it is that the consequences of that decision is something that Iranians like me have to live with for decades. I understand why you want to do good, but doing good needs to be accompanied with wisdom. There is no undo button in revolutions. Once you start it, there's no pause button or go back button.
I hope that there are a lot more people like me that they became disillusioned during their academic experience, and it encouraged them to want to do independent research and talk to people different than them and form their own opinions so that we can all continue to learn.
It was only after I started reading books in English, pirated books, that I understood better what extremist movements are and what happens when they take over a country.
It's just become so repeatedly clear that my whole self as a person doesn't matter. What matters to these movements is the furthering of certain narratives, regardless of if they're true.
If I could say something to a young person who is vulnerable like I once was, remain curious. Always remain curious.
If you have doubt, it's okay to go look up.
I'm sorry, this is completely fucking Jewish. Who made this? Who actually made this? Just stay curious, guys. What is seeds of doubt? What is this? Who are you? No information about who you are. About? Who made this movie? Contact. This is very, very, very suspicious. Why is there are you serious? So Jewish. So Jewish. Jewish. Okay. All right. Well, okay, that was a nice little piece of propaganda. Now let's go on to the real Antifa one. This is the GBN news report that featured Honey Badger Mom. This is all about Portland and stuff like that. And there's a lot of the people that you might recognize from the Portland protest coverage. And so this is a nice little, probably far more accurate, like mini documentary about what happened in Portland or like what they're doing. And Honey Badger Mom, Chelly, actually has a really big role in it. And I'm excited to watch it. A lot of you guys sent it to me, and I think it's a nice way to round out our stream for today. Yeah, we got Jew Tifa on that last one. Yep. Jew Tifa. All right, let's see what happened.
I guess resist how you want to resist is what I would say.
Even through killing?
I don't know. I don't think we're at that stage yet, but I hope we don't get there. I hope we're able to do things democratically and peacefully. But
there may be a stage.
There may be a stage where we need to get more aggressive with resisting fascism.
In recent years, America has seen a wave of far-left violence.
They talk about acts of violence, they talk about guns or going to gun ranges, and it scares me.
The murder of Charlie Kirk, the shooting at an ICE facility in Texas, attempts on Donald Trump's...
Andy No cried about getting attacked again because that's all Andy No ever says. Back in 2016 when I had a milkshake thrown on me and it was the most horrible thing that's ever happened ever. And it was a horrible attack, and I'm not trying to make fun of the attack. What I'm making fun of is the fact that the only thing that Andy No literally ever says about Antifa in his interviews is, that time I got attacked and it was really horrible and they wanted to humiliate me, which they did, and he's right about that. But Andy has not done any real journalism in years.
Life and the killing of a healthcare CEO. Across the country, radical activists claim they're fighting fascism.
There's no political violence coming from the left, frankly. You know,
what about Charlie Kirk's death?
Well,
but their war is increasingly against ordinary Americans. My name is Stephen Edgington, and in this film for GB News, I explore the rise of far-left extremism.
Oh, yeah? What's the lie?
I began by speaking with a former member of Antifa, the principal...
What's the lie? How do I lie, Jade, person I've never seen on the channel before? We're stopping the entire stream just for you. How did I lie exactly? Going to Jade's channel activity. Oh, did someone time out Jade? I wish you guys hadn't done that. Wish you hadn't done that. I was trying to get some information. In fact, I will untime out Jade. If I can find her. Shit, I can't see it in the chat. No, but it said on her channel history. Okay. Well, Jade, you are welcome to explain yourself. Exactly how did I lie? Jade is not timed out. Okay. How did I lie? We're waiting. I will time you out. I will just ban you if you don't answer the question. Oh, you were talking about the video? Okay, never mind. Thank you.
Organization pushing far left activism and, in some cases,
I jumped the
violence.
Were you once in Antifa?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't call myself like Antifa's strongest soldier or like, I'm going to like giant Antifa conspiracy meetings. But it's like, I think that as far as like May Day is like a holiday in Seattle where Antifa often shows a presence. So I've participated in that,
Oh, okay.
Whether it's like protests or marches, dressed in all black, wearing a mask.
My apologies.
Have you ever heard anyone explicitly say they're going to kill someone or they think it's justified to attack someone because they're a fascist, for example?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's like, whether it's people deserve to die, they have no human rights. It's like calling someone a Nazi or a fascist. It's a way to just dehumanize them. You can do whatever to them. You can assault them. It's funny to them. They laugh about it. They don't kill you because you're a fascist. They call you a fascist so they can kill you. It's just a way to dehumanize people and threaten them. Originally, they were trying to bully and threaten like what they would consider right-wing extremists, like Proud Boys or like Christian nationalists, that show up to protests or events. They're bullying them. That's not the target anymore. Now the target is anyone that doesn't agree with them. Socially, when I'm not at a meeting, I'm just hanging out with people that I know, more and more they talk about acts of violence, they talk about guns or going to gun ranges, and it scares me.
Why do you think some of these people that you know are arming themselves and going to gun ranges and so on?
They feel as though they're under threat. Well, we're going to be genocided or put in prison, or Nazis have taken over America. And so we have to act now to stop it.
That kind of rhetoric and those ideas, do you feel that it's kind of like a radicalization or
Yes.
self-radicalization, almost akin to, let's say, an Islamist group?
How is this different than a group like ISIS? It's like, you create this echo chamber, like this social group. You're not allowed to talk to any outsiders. If you interact with anyone who isn't part of the group or who thinks differently, then you're out. You're canceled. You're untrustworthy. Or worse, now you're a Nazi.
Do you worry that?
Hey, so breaking news. The person who shot the National Guardsman is an Afghan national. So first of all, not a voter for the Democratic Party. I think we can say that that's pretty clear. An Afghan national. Not a member of Antifa. It's a Muslim from a Muslim country, which it wouldn't surprise me if a Muslim did do that. It wouldn't surprise me, but I'm just saying, is there any chance this is not real? Is there any chance this is like a false flag? Is there any chance that this is there any, like, I've been expecting there to be some Muslim violence false flag for a while. It absolutely could. It's probably real. I'm sure it's probably real. And this guy is just a psychotic person who shot them because reasons. But like, it just, I don't know. There is a smell. That's exactly right. It's like there is an odor. There is an odor about the situation that I think the timing of it and I think the circumstances of it might be a little convenient for some, but I'm sure it's probably real, and I'm sure, I mean, it's a tragedy either way, obviously. All right.
Some of the rhetoric coming from senior Democrats and some of the media describing Donald Trump as a Nazi, describing the Republicans as fascists, is radicalizing some people towards the kind of violence that you're talking about.
That is what caused it.
See,
so
shut the fuck up. This guy's not real. No. This guy's not real. No, fake. These are the Trump conservative talking points. The reason that Antifa is violent is because the Democrats told him that all Republicans were fascists. Is that true? Is the reason that Antifa, this is a pop quiz for the chat, is it true that the reason that Antifa might be violent is the reason that the Democrat-run media told them that Republicans are fascist? Is that true? No. No. That's not true. The reason that there is no universe in which Antifa even watches the Democrat media. There is no universe in which Antifa watches NBC or MSNBC or CNN or any other mainstream media source. There is no universe in which they are consuming that content. And the reason that they think that the Republicans are fascist is because the Republicans are not communist, because the left's definition of fascism is literally capitalism, which we heard on the stream yesterday. We literally heard that on the stream yesterday. The entire stream yesterday was a far left revolutionary talking about how the definition of fascism is literally fucking capitalism. So no, this guy's fake.
A Nazi, describing the Republicans as fascists, is radicalizing some people towards the kind of violence that you're talking about.
That is what caused it. So
Do you guys really not understand that anarchists don't get their news from the mainstream media? There's a website. The name of that website is Anarchist News. Do you think that anarchists, let me ask you guys this. One in the chat, if you think that anarchists get their news from MSNBC and CNN. 2 in the chat if you think that anarchists get their news from anarchistnews.org. I'll give you another one. CrimeThink. CrimeThink is another website. Do you guys know how I know what Antifa is going to do before literally anyone else? Because they write about it on CrimeThink. The talking points and the direct action strategies come to Antifa from CrimeThink. This is one of the most widely read far left websites on the internet. Hey, I'm going to give you guys another one. Hang on. Do you know another place that anarchists get their news? Do you guys know? Anarchist Library. There are new documents posted here almost every single fucking day that anarchists read. This is how they distribute their documents. This is how they distribute their zines. When something is published by a far left group, it goes in the anarchist library. Yeah, no blogs. That's actually another one. Hang on. Did you guys know that anarchists have an entire web hosting platform? They have an entire fucking web hosting platform. Noblogs.org is an Antifa web hosting platform in which anarchists run anarchist websites that distribute anarchist news to other anarchists. You can browse by topic. You can browse by policy. You can browse docs. You can browse by activity. You can sign up for your own anarchist website. Did I accidentally put this in a language that's not? You can download the latest zines on here. Zines are distributed on here. This is just a couple of ways, guys. This is just 4 quick ways. And I promise you that there are far more anarchists that are getting their news from No Blogs or from the Anarchist Library or from CrimeThink or from good old anarchistnews.org. There are far more anarchists getting their news from these websites than are getting their news from MSNBC and CNN. I promise you. This guy's fake.
People towards the kind of violence that you're talking about.
That is what caused it. So the Democratic leadership, it's like, you know,
the Democratic leadership caused Antifa violence. This guy has never been involved with Antifa. I promise you. This guy maybe went to a liberal protest once in a while. Maybe he did some progressive organizing, but this guy has never been on the far left if he thinks the Democrat media causes Antifa violence. That's absurd.
Whether it's like when Kamala was running, just, dead saying, well, yeah, Trump is a fascist. But, the Democrats, they just...
Hang on. There was a presentation given at the Socialism Conference in September of last year, in 2024, when Kamala Harris was running for president. I want to show it to you. We're not going to watch the full presentation, obviously. I just want to show you that it exists. Hang on. Hang on, gotta find it. So this guy just said that that basically it was the media talking about Kamala Harris. Okay, was it though? Was that who they were listening to? This is Haymarket Books' website. Haymarket Books is the largest left-wing book publisher in the United States. Every year, hang on. Sorry. Every year, Haymarket Books runs a conference called the Socialism Conference. This past year was in July. The year before that, in 2024, it was in September. In September of 2024, there was a presentation at the Socialism Conference that aired live on the internet called The Genocidal Returns of Leftser Evilism, the U.S. Elections and Left Strategy. Does anyone know what this presentation was about? We've watched it twice on the channel. Does anyone remember what this presentation was about? Only literal retards think that Antifa and the far left listen to the Democrats. Are you a literal retard, Robert? Are you only listening to conservative talking points? Because I'm trying to show you primary source evidence right now. Are you smart enough to process primary source evidence, or do you want to run right back to Fox News, who are going to tell you it's the Democrat media? They're the ones that have caused all of that. Is a retard take. If you're a retard, you can leave. If you want to be smarter than that, feel free to stay. Does anyone remember what this presentation is about? The genocidal returns of lesser evilism? They talked about how both Republicans and Democrats are a waste of time. They hate both because they're both capitalist. This entire presentation, and there were many presentations like this in the election cycle in 2024. This entire presentation is about how they're not voting for Kamala Harris. They don't like Kamala Harris. You shouldn't vote for Kamala Harris. If you vote for Kamala Harris, you are a traitor to the cause. They do not believe that Democrats are any different than Republicans. They don't like Democrats. They don't trust Democrats. Democrats are not implementing their policies. Kamala Harris is literally a cop, and socialists hate cops. And there's no reason that anyone on the far left should be voting for Kamala Harris because they don't vote in elections. They don't vote for Democrats. They don't vote in elections. They don't believe in elections. These are revolutionaries. Revolutionaries do not believe elections are going to solve their problems. That's what that presentation is about. So if I'm going back over here to fake Antifa, and he's saying it's the Democrat media and it's Kamala Harris. There is no universe in which this person was actually interacting with Antifa. There is no universe. Sorry.
Is radicalizing some people towards the kind of violence that you're talking about.
That is what caused it. So the Democratic leadership, it's like, whether it's like when Kamala was running, just, dead saying, well, yeah, Trump is a fascist.
Yeah, Antifa is not listening to Kamala Harris. I promise you. Are there fake wannabe Antifa groups versus real ones? No, there's not. This person has never been an Antifa. There is real Antifa, and then there are progressives and liberals that have nothing to do with Antifa. They're not trying to be fake Antifa. There is real Antifa. There are also real leftists that are revolutionaries that are not in Antifa. Antifa is a very specific thing. What you guys tend to confuse are you think that Democrats and progressives and liberals are the same as Antifa, and they are not. This entire thing, I now know, is a piece of propaganda. And this really fucking pisses me off. This person is just shilling the Trump White House talking points. And that fake fucking Antifa is also backing up the Trump White House talking points. This propaganda exists to shill the narrative of the White House.
Towards the kind of violence that you're talking about.
That is what caused it. So the Democratic leadership, it's like, you know, whether it's like when Kamala was running, just, you know, dead saying, you know, well, yeah, Trump is a fascist. But, you know, the Democrats, you know, they just constantly pouring gasoline on it and just normalizing, you know, this language, which, you know, has a lot of consequences. It's scary.
That is explicitly what Trump said at the Antifa meeting at the White House. This guy has just repeated literally word for word the Trump talking points. Fake.
People. That's what it does. When you have, you know, like these respected leaders, they're scaring shit out of, you know, ordinary people, especially young people, and they feel as though, you know, they're under threat, that their lives are in danger, and it's actually not true.
Do they think a civil war is coming?
For sure. They probably feel like we're in it right now, and they have to be stopped no matter what the cost is. You know,
Antifa does not believe a civil war is coming. Antifa believes a revolution is coming. There is no universe. Does Antifa ever talk about the Civil War, or is that a Republican talking point? Do we ever hear the far left and Antifa talk about the Civil War, or do they talk about the revolution, the uprising that will spark the revolution? The reason we listen to so much of the left and really pay attention to their language is because the language matters. The language tells you which groups people are in, because it's very hard for people to code switch their language when they're speaking extemporaneously. So leftists will say very specific words that people on the right will not say, and right-wingers say very specific words that people on the left do not say. The left does not talk about civil war. The left doesn't even think about it as civil war. The left thinks about the uprising of the proletariat, the spark that will lead to the revolution in America. They are preparing for the spark of the revolution and the uprising that will lead to the eventual overthrow of capitalism in America, overthrow of the government, but they do not think about it as a civil war. They think about it as the uprising of the oppressed class, taking on and decolonizing their land from the masters that have claimed it for 250 years. So fucking frustrating.
They're scaring shit out of, you know, ordinary people, especially young people, and they feel as though, you know, they're under threat, that their lives are in danger, and it's actually not true.
Do they think a civil war is coming?
For sure. They probably feel like we're in it right now, and they have to be stopped no matter what the cost is. You know, and I mean, the cost is, you know, the country in chaos, where like political assassinations and murder is just okay.
In Portland, Oregon, the city's ICE facility has faced nightly protests and riots for months. There, I met an independent journalist to show me what's happening on the ground.
Great to meet you.
Now listen, this is Chelly. This is Honey Badger Mom. She's awesome. She's my friend. She took me around in Portland. We went to a whole bunch of bookstores together. She is a professional. And for people who say I just shit on everyone and I think I'm the only one doing a good job of covering the left, absolutely not. Chelly is an amazing fucking journalist and she does a great job and everyone should support her. Katie Davis Court is an awesome fucking journalist. I have nothing bad to say about Katie Davis Court. I have nothing bad to say about Jonathan Cho. I don't even have anything bad to say about Cam Higbee, even though Cam Higbee's a Zionist and I disagree with him on that. Cam Higbee was out there working. Like, Cam Higbee was doing a great job. His coverage is actually really effing good. So for people who think that I just shit on everyone, there are a lot of great people out there doing amazing journalism, covering the far left. I will always support those people. I will always share their work. I will always tell people to follow them. I will always tell people to support them. Who I do not support are the grifter shills who are lying to the public about what is going on. And by the way, Chelly absolutely knows the difference between a grifter shill and a real journalist, and the information you're going to get from her specifically is going to be good.
Hi. I'm Stephen.
Shelly
Shelley.
Bufarash. I go by Honey Badger Mom on X.
Okay, so we're here outside the ICE building, and
Mhm.
you've done a lot of reporting here. Should we go and have a look and
Yes,
see
I
what's
think we should
happening?
go check it out.
So they've written this slogan, look up and see American Gestapo.
Yes. Go ahead.
And fascists. I mean, this is the kind of language that they're using.
Oh, yes. They absolutely compare ICE agents and anybody that opposes them to the Gestapo.
And do you think that that kind of language around fascism and Nazis and Gestapo, does that lead to the violence? Because if that really
absolutely.
is true, then that justifies killing them in a way.
Yes. Oh, no, it absolutely. That's the purpose of the language. And you can see it in the crowd. I walked up last Saturday, and I have to have a bodyguard or I can't do this work anymore. I've been assaulted several times. When we walked up, someone got on a megaphone and said about me to this crowd of 100 people, there's a right-wing agitator. She's a Nazi. And the whole mood of the crowd became sinister. And
Wow.
I immediately had to walk out in a way to just kind of calm that down.
Kill pigs.
Yeah.
Explicitly violent.
Yes. And that language is throughout.
That I never showed you guys all the pictures I have of the graffiti outside the ICE facility in Portland, at least when I was there. There were calls to kill people all over the fucking place. They had kill the cops, they had kill ICE, kill Trump, kill Andy No. I did see kill Andy No graffiti. There was graffiti literally all around that facility and like for blocks around it. There were stickers everywhere. The city wasn't cleaning it up. Like there was a ton of graffiti there.
Their entire movement. They want police dead. And they've told these officers, kill yourself, kill yourself, kill yourself, jump, jump, jump. So
You want me to speak in Antifa cadence? Okay. Hang on. I'm going to get something to read to speak in Antifa cadence. One sec. This is Antifa cadence. The perspective of queers within the heteronormative world is a lens through which we can critique and attack the apparatus of capitalism. We can analyze the ways in which medicine, the prison system, the church, the state, marriage, the borders, the media, military, and the police are used to control and destroy us. More importantly, we can use these cases to articulate a cohesive criticism of every way that we are alienated and dominated. Queer is a position from which to attack the normative more, a position from which to understand the attack, the ways in which normal is reproduced and reiterated in destabilizing and problematizing normalcy. We can destabilize and become a problem for the totality. The history of organized queers was born out of this position. The most marginalized trans folk, people of color, sex workers, have always been the catalyst for riotous explosions of queer resistance. These explosions have been coupled with a radical analysis, wholeheartedly asserting that liberation for queer people is intrinsically tied to the annihilation of capitalism and the state. It is no wonder, then, that the first people to publicly speak of sexual liberation in this country were anarchists, or that those in the last century who struggled for queer liberation also simultaneously struggled against capitalism, racism, and patriarchy and empire. This is our history. That is Antifa cadence. It's flowery. They use very specific words. There are words they don't use. They don't reiterate conservative talking points. Everything we've heard in these Antifa videos so far, with the exception of Chelly, is an Antifa, is a conservative talking point about the left. It is not Antifa speaking for themselves. If these people were really former Antifa, they would speak with a certain flowery cadence because it would have become their natural language. It's kind of like what these people want us to believe is that they grew up speaking French. These people want us to believe they grew up in France and were speaking French their whole lives. And then all of a sudden, with the snap of a finger, they spoke perfect English with no French accent. Okay? My husband has a very thick Russian accent. My husband has been speaking English since he was 7 years old. And even still, my husband has a very thick Russian accent because Russian is his first language. He's from Ukraine. People don't just wake up snap their fingers and start speaking a completely different language without any remnant or trace of the old language. And it's not just true of an accent, it's true of word choice. It's true of the words you choose to use versus the words you don't choose to use. It's true of how you put the information together, how you present it. Different groups speak differently. Different groups have a different cadence. Different groups have different, I hate to use the term, dialect. Part of the reason it's beneficial to listen to the language of the left is that you can hone in on it like a moth to a flame if you hear anyone speaking socialist language. If you're out in the wild and you hear someone start to speak socialist, it's like, boom, I know what group you're part of. Whereas if someone is speaking progressive or liberal, it's a completely different thing. So, hope that helps.
I overheard one of the people associated with this group, Antifa, tell one of these officers that
no, what I just read is not in code. What I just read is in their language. They're not speaking in code to each other. What I just read to you is from a manifesto called Towards the Queerest Insurrection, which I promise you has been a lot more influential of Antifa than anything that CNN has ever aired in their lives, in the entire existence of CNN. They are not speaking in code to each other. It sounds like code to you because you don't speak their language. This is like you just heard someone speak in a foreign language and you're like, they're speaking in code. No, they're not. They're speaking in their language. They're speaking in Mandarin. They're speaking in Spanish. They're speaking in Russian. They're speaking in their language. It's not secret code. They all understand what they mean. It's that you don't understand it because you don't speak their language. It is not word salad university. That is a retard take. It is not word salad. It is a different language. Are you going to tell people that speak a different language than you that they're speaking in word salad? The reason you think it's word salad is that you do not understand it. Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it doesn't make sense.
they needed to quit their job. If they did not quit their job, they were going to be murdered in the revolution. At my home, 90 minutes south of here last week, somebody left 4 caltrops in my driveway. And those, for anybody that doesn't know, they're rebar.
I got to, like, those things are crazy. She still had those in her car. I held it in my hand. That thing is a fuck off, heavy piece of metal. She had people going to her home and, like, leaving those in her driveway so they would puncture her tires. And then they got all of them, and then they came back and they left them again. That's crazy.
Kind of look like a jack. They're giant and they're made to puncture tires.
So this one up here says, I want you to kill Nazis.
Yes. And I walk in and she's a Nazi.
Right.
It is incitement and it's scary. It's more than just language. It's an incitement to kill people. They want somebody to die. And they have killed someone on the streets of Portland a few years ago that was a Trump supporter. Somebody shot him in cold blood and they celebrated it. They're hoping for something like that. Somebody told me this was here, but they're doing a ICE protest in Portland, far-right content creators, BOLO. Be on the lookout for. And so they put me on there.
So you guys are setting up shop? Yep. So do you do this every day?
Every week. Well, they sleep it every week.
Why do you do this? Why are you protesting?
They're terrorizing us. They're kidnapping people. You saw the no-knock warrants that they're doing here in Portland, right?
What do you make of some of the, we've been looking at some of the slogans written on the, ICE building and stuff. Some of them are quite violent.
I will tell you that there is a lot of pain and a lot of anger. And that is people's way of getting that anger out. And I would rather people tag and write a nasty note than it getting to a point of violence or anything else.
There has been obviously attacks on ICE officers, people being killed.
No.
There have been. I mean,
not here in Portland.
Not here. Yeah, across the country. So that kind of slogan, do you think?
When you are the Gestapo coming in and terrorizing the community, mass thugs, kidnapping people, What do you expect the community to do?
So why don't you show us where you were assaulted here outside the ICE building?
Okay. There was a woman that walked up to me and had a huge sign, and she put it this close to my face. And I won't tolerate that anymore because I can't see what's happening. And it's often a precursor to an attack. So I just pulled the sign down and away and sidestepped. And she jumped me. She went around behind me and was punching me in the head repeatedly. Get it out of my face now.
Wow.
I told the woman that was approaching me if she didn't get back, I was going to pepper spray her. I think I said it twice, and she continued to move forward. So I sprayed her, and she dropped everything she had in her hands and ran straight at me. She probably weighed 300 pounds.
Wow.
Hit me like a linebacker and tackled me into that swale right there, and was punching me. She was on top of me and punching me everywhere she could reach. And I had just gone into a fetal position to protect my phone and my body.
So what are we about to see then? Where are you taking us?
Well, if it's still there, when I was driving into town the other day, I came down this road, my old neighborhood, and there was graffiti out here in an area that looked like it was getting ready to have construction done on it. And it said
tried to take me
something
by this,
about
didn't find it.
ICE and killing Trump supporters.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. This is what caught my eye yesterday when I was driving into the city was kill ICE now.
You know, I love Chelly because Chelly actually does pay attention to all the graffiti. She pays attention to all the slogans. And she and I have talked about this privately. And this is part of how Chelly knew I knew what I was talking about, because like I would talk about things that Antifa was saying and what they were doing and like what all the words meant. And then Chelly would DM me on Twitter going, Karlyn, I've literally seen the graffiti that says that.
There are Federal Protective Service officers and ICE officers that have been targeted in this neighborhood with their home addresses exposed. So if I were them, this would frighten me.
Obviously, there's this sign here that says kidnap ICE.
Hang on, we got a Rumble rant from Effectual Insurrection. Let me see what you had to say, bro. Did you see the FBI arrested the ginger beer guy from Portland? I did see that. Governor named John Cupp, a.k.a. Bearded Ginger Turban Guy. By the way, thank you for teaching us the language of the left. We love Chelly. Yeah, we love Chelly. Yeah, they arrested that Muslim guy. I noticed that they did not charge the Muslim guy with terrorism, as it turns out. I thought Antifa was a terrorist organization.
F MAGA.
Mm-hmm.
Again, kind of violent rhetoric. Is this usual around the city, seeing these kind of signs?
It's definitely more usual now. And we are far from ICE and far from downtown. This is a working class neighborhood.
So there's a lot of homelessness in Portland.
Yes, a lot. This area in particular is kind of an area where they gather because there's a lot of services in this area, from nonprofits to things that the city provides.
Does this in any way connect with the kind of far left stuff that we've been talking about earlier?
So the policies that the far left pushes, and it's the same people down there at the ICE building, they're all connected, and along with some of the people that have been elected to city council, are the making drugs not illegal anymore. It's the prison abolitionist crowd.
This is their world.
I'm just really overwhelmed by how bad this is. Like, I have seen it worse, but just to see this up close and hear people in psychotic episodes in their delusions is just very sad. So what time is it? Okay, we should go in there.
Next, Honey Badger took me to court to speak with a young lady who was arrested for a hate crime.
So it's been dropped?
Kind of.
Okay.
They're not going to move forward with it now. But they're like, we could for the next 2 or 3 years. I don't think they're going to.
We just came from the courthouse and you've been in a bit of trouble. Can you explain why?
So on October 18th, I was exercising my First Amendment right and protesting down at the ICE facility, and was accosted and harassed and assaulted by a man in a dress.
Whoa!
He wasn't happy with my presence, and he made that very clear when he put his bullhorn in my face and attempted to damage my hearing and punched me in the face after I gently tried to remove the bullhorn from my ear. So I was put on a dismissal of some sort where they could potentially charge me within like 2 to 3 years, but they're not going to make any moves as of this point, is my understanding.
What were they saying you were doing? Like, why are you in court today? Is that right?
Harassment and bias crime too, yes.
Yeah. So a bias crime is sort of like a hate crime, is that right? Because I've never heard of this bias crime.
Yeah,
thing.
so when I was in jail, I asked many times what it was, what's going on, and finally at around 10:20, when they were taking my mugshots and my fingerprints, I asked I believe it was a jailer of some sort, what my charges were, and he told me, and I asked him to explain what bias crime
I gotta pee. I'll be right back.
And he essentially told me, if you were to walk up to me, call me the N-word, and then hit me in the face with a brick, that's your charge.
But it was obviously something to do with the fact that this bloke was a trans person, right?
Possibly.
One would presume. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, it's walking right by me, so forgive me.
No, we don't want you to feel uncomfortable.
I am now I'm really shook.
Well, you're rightly, a bit traumatized by the whole thing.
Multiple police officers were standing by. I don't have any doubt that there were a handful of them that actually saw it and didn't do anything about it.
That night, we returned to the ICE facility, where some protesters told me one day killing fascists might be justified.
So we're back at ICE. We've already had one guy try and intimidate our cameraman here.
Yeah.
But over there, we've got the dancers, people dressed up in funny costumes and things like that. They would argue they're just trolls. This isn't violence. This is just them having fun, poking fun at the evil fascists over here.
I would say that's their propaganda that they're manufacturing so they can say, look, we're just having a dance party. We're not doing anything crazy. I don't know what everybody's so upset about.
Can I ask why you're here?
I'm here because I come from a community that's, I have family at risk size, and I come from a community that's at risk. It is being terrorized by.
Why is your face covered?
Because I'll be arrested if they see me.
You think so?
I'm not allowed to protest here.
You're not allowed to protest here. Why not?
I don't know. You'd have to ask the courts. I didn't do anything.
How many times have you been here? Do you come here often?
I do. I come here. I've been out here since early June, since the 3rd.
We've seen lots of signs calling ICE fascists around here. Not signs, but graffiti and things like that.
Yeah.
And there's also a couple signs we've seen that said kill ICE, kill fascists. What do you make of that?
I mean, to each their own. Some people like to be very vocal about their displeasure for fascism, and it's on the rise. We are in the midst of a fascist takeover.
Yeah, we're in the midst of a fascist takeover.
Resist how you want to resist. Is what I would say.
Even through killing.
I don't know. I don't think we're at that stage yet, but I hope we don't get there. I hope we're able to do things democratically and peacefully. But
there may be a stage.
There may be a stage where we need to get more aggressive with resisting fascism and the rise of it. Yeah.
What does that look like?
I couldn't tell you. I'm here peacefully, so that's my take on it.
What would mean we get to that stage where you need to use violence to achieve your goals?
I don't know. I haven't really considered it yet. I'm here mainly peacefully.
Yeah.
And so the idea of being violent and going down a violent route hasn't really. I'm still in the hopes of we can do this peacefully and democratically.
Oh my God!
But there are those out here that think differently.
Really?
And I'm not going to judge them for that.
So there are some people here who do think that.
I believe that we should kill fascists, and to a certain degree, I don't know. I have no opinion on it.
And what brought you here? Or what brings you here now?
Well, honestly, because a lot of old white Jews in America F things up, right? A
Wow.
lot of them have
This is a
supported Trump
progressive.
and
This
made
is
it
not
global. So
Antifa.
I've got to
This is
be
a
one of those that are
progressive.
willing to stand up. And my mom, frankly, she was born in Berlin and went through World War II. And while my grandfather had Jewish friends and a Jewish banker that he worked for, so I'm sure they weren't Nazis. But I always wondered what caused that. And because of that, I became an expert in pre-World War II Germany. And Trump looks scarily, eerily like that. I mean, he and Hitler, despite physical differences and some style differences, tactic-wise, are really similar.
We've seen a lot of signs and stuff, graffiti and things, obviously saying ICE, fascists, and so on.
Yes.
And a couple of the signs are saying kill ICE, kill Nazis. What do you make of those? I mean, if he really is Hitler, is it justifiable to kill him?
You've got a lot of young kids here who are very emotional, right? That see their lives without a lot of hope, right?
But does that justify kind of attacking or any political violence? Like if he's Hitler, then shouldn't we take down Hitler?
Yes. But when you say political violence, so none of these people, look at this, they're dancing. There's a bunch of animals usually here, right? There's no political violence coming from the left, frankly. You know.
What about Charlie Kirk's death?
Well, that's still to be determined.
We're here outside ICE, the ICE facility in Portland. Why are you here?
I'm here because I have the privilege of a middle-aged white woman. I'm employed. I have no criminal record. I stand strongly against what's happening here.
Are you worried about political violence in America?
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you?
Well, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Scary.
And obviously we all saw this murder of Charlie Kirk a couple of months ago. What do you make of that?
I know that he died. I don't really have anything I want to say more than that.
We saw a lot of people celebrating his murder online. What do you make of that?
I don't have anything to say about that either.
No.
Yeah, freedom of speech.
Antifa violence has claimed many victims in Portland. I sat down with some of them to hear their stories.
Can you take us through some of your reporting, how you began reporting on this left-wing violence and what you've discovered over the last 9 years?
I started 9 years ago in Portland, Oregon, and I was very naive then. I went out with an iPhone 7 and was just recording what I saw, and I had never seen groups of people dressed in black with their faces covered. This is 4 years before COVID, by the way.
I just want to point out, Andy has his books perfectly in his shot over here, because this is what Andy actually cares about, is his books and selling his books by telling the same old fucking story over and over and over again.
They had bats and other tools that they use to destroy entire city streets within seconds and then disappear into the next street. During this near decade of reporting, I unfortunately have been a target several times of Antifa violence. They nearly killed me on several occasions. And I've witnessed and experienced that violence up close. And the movement in its own, what the individuals who ascribe to this ideology claim, it's about violence for the purpose of violence, in that their slogan is become ungovernable. So their agenda is to attack state institutions, law enforcement, with the goal of destroying the United States and all nation states, actually. And the US is convenient. They view it as the head of a monster that they want to slay.
Would that monster be capitalism, Andy?
And their project is to create a stateless society where people govern themselves autonomously.
Is far left violence on the rise in America today?
It has. There's actually been some research that's been put out looking at a surge actually in left-wing violence. A lot of people were quite shocked that after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, that there was such open celebration for that murder. that was in front of an audience of thousands in Utah. But I wasn't surprised. I had been seeing now for 9 years of my reporting on left-wing violence that the Antifa violence was becoming mainstream.
My name is Brian Owendoff. I have been in commercial real estate development for 34 years, half of that here in Portland, Oregon.
This building we're sitting in now, you developed.
Yeah, I was the owner's rep and oversaw all development of this $740 million mixed-use project.
You actually experienced a far-left attack here in this building.
So this was May 1st of 2023. In my 18 years here in Portland, May Day is always a big day for Antifa. They end up having either a protest or some violence. We ended up having an arson fire started up on the 17th floor on a cross hallway, caused the sprinklers to go off, water to go from 17 down to 12, impact about 43 rooms that had been completely punched.
Why don't I display my books behind me? I guess after you write a couple books, it's just like, eh. I mean, occasionally I even talk about my books, but like, I guess like the magic of the book for me, it's like, you know, I do want to redo the whole background, but maybe when I eventually redo my office, which I've been saying I'm going to redo for 3 years, maybe eventually I will carve out a little nook, like right here somewhere in the background where we can have my latest book displayed, whatever that latest book that might be.
The reason I believe it was Antifa was we ended up also having damage to 17 of the 132 units where they scraped into the glass ACAB and 1213 and Eat the Rich. So this was not an Amish gang from Ohio or Pennsylvania coming out here to do it. It was Antifa, and there was a lot of chatter on the web about this. They had purposely targeted this.
I'm the president of the Portland Police Association. The Portland Police Association is the kind of rank and file police union in Portland, Oregon.
So in your experience as a police officer in Portland over the last 20 years, have you witnessed an increase in political violence?
Yes, political violence has it's been interesting. You know, we've always had a very robust protest community. And a lot of our protests, the vast majority of them are in fact peaceful. You know, in 2010, you had Occupy Wall Street. That to me is when you started seeing like the all cops are bastards. That was kind of the origin of doxing. I got doxed in 2010. I had people calling my phone and my wife's phone, threatening to rape and kill my wife and infant daughter. You know, and they were claiming Antifa affiliation. It was very organized. It was very fast. And then 2020 was kind of where Portland became very famous. We always kind of had these issues, but 2020 happens, and for 180 days straight, every single day for 180 days, we had a riot. Full send, firebombs, people boarding police stations and our union hall shut and lighting it on fire with people inside, people getting Molotov cocktails thrown at them and lit on fire. Again, I personally was in our union hall with it boarded shut and lit on fire. People, you know, pulling guillotines out, which is just, I mean, it's shocking behavior.
Do you think the kind of rhetoric that we're seeing around cops and also ICE officers is perhaps leading to more violence towards those people? So calling them fascists or pigs or something,
right,
justifies in their mind attacks on the officers.
Yeah, and to be completely honest, my real concern right now is we're seeing it on both sides of the aisle. Our officers in Portland, again, politics and policing simply do not mix. Police officers, again, they're human beings. They have their own perspectives. You know, I'm sure there's police officers with all kinds of different political views. But you agree when you put a uniform on to set all that aside and go and enforce the law that you are given the authority to enforce. 180 days plus, kill all cops was spray painted on every police station in Portland. Police officers were followed home. Police officers are getting, you know, they'll see flyers with their names up. Every time we have a deadly force incident, people...
So one of the things I noticed when I was at the Portland ICE facility is there would be like the green hat people that would stand out like directly in front of the ICE facility all day long. And they would just have like their clipboards and stuff. But what they were doing is every time cars were leaving the ICE facility, they were trying to take a picture of their license plates. And then they were doxing the license plates, and they were trying to figure out like where the ICE people were staying and things like that, so they could go to where they were staying and make a lot of noise and cause a disturbance. But like, I actively saw it. Like every time a car came out, one person with one of those hats, take a picture of their license plate, they're writing down. I mean, what else do you think they're doing with it?
come out of the woodwork talking about how our police officers are murderers with no due process or no real facts or understanding what's going on. And I will always say any violent rhetoric towards people who are willing to serve is completely unacceptable, no matter what the origin of the comment is. And I do think that as you allow violent or tumultuous rhetoric to grow about any police organization, you are creating an environment that may lead to political violence directed at police officers, and it's just unacceptable.
Are police officers in Portland worried about their lives because of this rhetoric that we're seeing about killing cops and so
Yes,
on?
absolutely. Right. And again, when I've gotten in our email box for the police union dozens of emails saying Portland police are Antifa, kill all Antifa. And so the rhetoric that the Portland Police Bureau is somehow sycophantic to an organization that destroyed our city and has threatened our families, for people to say you are that, leads to people who don't like that to want to engage in violence against us.
Far-left violence isn't limited to Portland. In Seattle, I met journalist Brandy Cruz, a former TV reporter who showed me parts of her city.
I also don't really think Brandy Cruz knows what the fuck she's talking about either, but I could be surprised.
Which were taken over by armed left-wing militants.
Hello.
Hi,
Nice to meet you.
Welcome to Capitol Hill, Seattle.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, so this area had some experience a few years ago.
This is sort of the heart of Seattle's protest culture. But also what we're walking up to right here is the Seattle Police Department's East Precinct. And this zone is famously the 6 square blocks of the city that was taken over by armed left-wing militants in the summer of 2020. It was first known as CHAZ, the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, and then they changed the name to CHOP, the Capitol Hill Occupy Protest. So it was in response to the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis, and it lasted for about a month. It had a sign right here that said, welcome to CHOP, or you're entering CHOP. And actually, for a big period of that month, this 6 blocks was patrolled by left-wing rioters who were armed with AR-15 rifles that had been handed to them on video out of the trunk of a car.
Did anyone get hurt, or has anyone been hurt by these left-wing militants in the last few years?
Oh, 100%. And again, varies in severity.
And
for instance,
one of my biggest regrets is I didn't go to the Chaz in 2020, but I wasn't really into this stuff back then, but I definitely would have gone if it had happened like any time in the last couple of years.
my crew, when I was in mainstream news here at CHOP, was mobbed the night that the autonomous zone formed. So I've been assaulted. I was assaulted by left-wing militants outside the ICE facility in Tukwila, which is south of Seattle, just back in June. So far, at this point, nobody's been arrested for that assault. One of the militants, all masked, tried to blind me with wasp killer, sprayed it directly in my eyes, in the face of my security guard. I had colleagues in mainstream news who were assaulted here in CHOP and basically told by their bosses to shut up about it.
So we can see here, there's a park over there.
Cal Anderson Park.
Something happened in this park, quite shocking.
So this is Cal Anderson Park, and it became almost like the encampment for CHOP. So there was a tent city, there was a community garden, and that's maybe fine during the day, but at night, it became a very dangerous place to be. And remember, there's no law enforcement in this area. So there were several instances where women had reported being raped in the encampment, and they would actually have to leave this area to be able to get help from law enforcement.
So should we go next to the George Floyd protest place downtown?
Yep.
And check it out.
15 years covering left-wing extremism in the city. This riot was one of the most lawless situations I've ever...
Brandy Cruz has been covering left-wing violence for 15 years, and she doesn't understand the difference between the DSA and Antifa? Because that's what Brandy Cruz said at the White House. Brandy Cruz said, "Trump, you are so great, and I've become much better looking since I became a Trump supporter, and you are so hilarious, Trump. And Trump, I know there's no difference between the DSA and Antifa." That she literally said that at the White House, and that stuck in my head because it was so batshit insane to think that the DSA and Antifa are the same thing. You're telling me this woman has been covering the far left for 15 years and she doesn't know the difference between the DSA and Antifa? No, she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. She may hit on a good point every now and again by accident, but if she doesn't know the difference between the DSA and Antifa, and she's been doing this for 15 years, do not listen to this woman. You have to fact check every single thing that she says.
Experience, besides obviously CHOP, which inherently is lawless. So there was
And let me just make the point of this. Pop quiz for my chat. What is the difference between DSA and Antifa? Brandy Cruz doesn't know this, but I bet people in my chat know this. What is the difference between the DSA and Antifa? If you were standing in front of Brandy Cruz and you said, Brandy, there's a difference between the DSA and Antifa. You told Trump that there wasn't on a nationally broadcast meeting where you misinform millions of people. What is here's what the actual difference is between DSA and Antifa. DSA are reformers, Antifa are revolutionary. Yes. Exactly. Reformers versus the revolutionaries. The DSA works within the electoral system because they are reformers. The Antifa does not vote. Antifa does not run for election. Antifa are revolutionaries. They don't believe that elections are going to work. So, look at this. Look at all the people in my chat who literally know the difference off the top of their head between... I wouldn't say they believe in democracy. When socialists say democracy, they mean socialism. Reformists versus revolutionaries. DSA are reformists that work within elections. Antifa wants to overthrow the entire government. Yep. But the reformer versus revolutionary thing is the most important. Look how many people in the chat know this answer. Why doesn't Brandy Cruz know this answer?
After the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis. And I would say there's maybe 500 people down here. And this is the city core. This is your business district, shopping, Pike Place Market, which is one of the most popular tourist destinations, is just blocks away. And all of a sudden, it turns into a riot. I've never seen anything like I saw here. I remember standing on this corner up here, and there was a Seattle police SUV right here in the middle of this road, fully engulfed in flames, people jumping on it. These businesses in this area were looted to the studs. And I remember walking on the street, no cops to be seen anywhere. And there were just naked mannequins that had been strewn all over because they took everything and they even ripped the clothes off the mannequins. So a lot of these businesses have been boarded up for years and years and years. But there's what was a Banana Republic up here on the corner in a beautiful building that you'll see looted, never reopened.
So this
never
is
reopened after that.
The very downtown of Seattle.
This
should be the most busy place, right?
This should be the most vibrant area of Seattle.
And you've got businesses boarded up because of the left-wing violence that happened just years and years ago now, but they still haven't reopened.
A combination of that and then combined with the environment. But this is what cities like Seattle and Portland have resorted to. This used to be the Banana Republic, this whole building here on the corner. So you'll see this a lot in Portland as well. They don't want a vacant storefront. So what they do is they do these art installations and the city will support them and host them.
Across America, far-left extremism is on the rise. When leaders label their opponents Nazis, some take it as permission to kill. As leftist extremism continues to spread, for many, the question is not whether there will be another political attack, but when and who.
Is that it? All right. Well, Chelly's part was really good. I liked Chelly's part a lot. Chelly, of course, was awesome and the best part of this whole thing.
Left violence.
This guy is fake. This guy with the blue hair is fake. Absolutely fake Antifa. None of what he said was real. The GB News guy was using the Trump White House talking points. And so we know that that's pretty fake and fucking gay. Brandy Cruz doesn't know the difference between DSA and Antifa, even though she's been covering it for 15 years. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating because it's like, I wanted to like this. I was excited. I was excited that Shelley got featured in something. She should get featured in a lot of things. And so I was like excited to watch this, and I was really hoping the rest of it was going to be good, but Shelley was like literally the only good part of it, and everything else sucked. And it's just like, Andy No didn't add anything. Do you guys notice this? Andy No added 0 to the conversation. All he said was Reagan was right about this. Andy No was like, I got hit by a milkshake, 8 years ago, and it was really embarrassing, and it was really violent. And it was violent, and it was awful, and that shouldn't have happened. But it's just like, have you done anything in the intervening years, Andy? Do you have anything new to the discussion to add, Andy? Because I'll tell you what, my audience interacts with Andy No's audience. Andy No's audience doesn't know what they're fucking talking about. But Shelley was good. Yep, Shelley was good. So I guess that is the last bright point that we can have for today. All right. Well, I have to go make a turkey brine now at 8:30 at night. Probably should have started it about 2 hours ago. That's all right. When is the next stream? I mean, we'll see. Maybe I'll stream tomorrow. I might stream tomorrow. I like, there's going to be nothing else to do. Like I'm basically cooking Thanksgiving for Victor and I. We're going to sit around. We're going to eat some turkey. I'm probably going to take a nap. I'm going to be drinking a lot because I drink when I cook. And so I've got like 2 bottles of champagne. So I might be like very, very drunk by tomorrow afternoon/evening. So I'll probably end up on the internet streaming, like in an ill-advised manner. But I really do hope you guys do have a really good Thanksgiving. I appreciate everyone who comes out and supports my work. I will definitely be back on Friday if I'm not streaming tomorrow. So I'm not doing any of that Black Friday shit. Like, I'm like, the internet takes care of all my shopping. I don't need to go to any store. Do people even still go to stores for Black Friday? Is that even still a thing? Like, Black Friday has already started. I've gotten all these messages saying our Black Friday sales. I'm like, it's not even fucking Wednesday. Like, anyway. So I appreciate you guys. Have a great Thanksgiving. I hope you guys all have awesome time off, whatever you're doing, or maybe you're just hanging out, and that's fine too. I might be back tomorrow. I will definitely be back by Friday. And yeah, cheers, guys. We'll see you soon. Where's my outro video? There it is.
How are you feeling? How long have you been here? 3 months, May 17th. And what brought you here? That's difficult to answer. is influencing my thinking and consequently my action.
What is it you're trying to do with your life?
Play the piano for people.
I'm not clear. How is it that playing the piano for people has eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital?
That's difficult to answer.